to talk about this.
We can talk about it.
I want to chime in.
Do you have any more?
There's a bunch of them.
Can I have one
tons.
more?
Yeah, here, let me grab a couple. Hold on.
We got quarters. You got
Yeah.
quarters?
Do you need quarters to get another one out?
There's 4 out. Hold on. Yeah, there's a couple that are out.
No, I just want one. Just
I don't know
one.
what they, oh, here's one that I tattooed.
Dude, it doesn't even matter. I'm not even going to look at it yet. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So anyway. All right, Nick, you might want to scoot closer to the side.
Okay, back over.
Yeah, back to where you were.
Okay.
Yep, there you are. You're good there.
Ow!
You get your finger?
Yep,
I did that the other day.
I know.
All right.
I'm so hyped up right now.
I'm so excited.
Jacked up.
We're going to fucking nail it this time. All right. Is that my beer or your beer?
Fucking
I did not get a
4Ks.
beer
man.
Go get
Fuck
a
the
beer.
4K.
Yeah, we don't need 4K. So,
do the intro right
welcome to the Tough Luck Tattoo Podcast.
Take 12.
Take 47. As always, my name is Bobby Karate, a.k.a. Robert Menje, and I'm hanging out here with my buddy Nicholas Coyne, a.k.a. Niche C Tattooer, and you are live and locked into the Tough Luck Tattoo Podcast, where we are sitting down with the one and only mythical creature that is Skylar Burnham.
Hello.
Go ahead and take a peek at your camera and say hello.
Hi.
There it is.
You're so good.
we haven't mastered this yet, but we're getting close.
Not even a little bit. We tattoo for a living.
Yeah.
Give us a break.
We have officially uploaded 7 hours once this one's live of content to the internet. A little over 7 hours of content to the internet.
At least.
And it's
with
been
Skyler.
consumed. It has been consumed by over 250 people.
I will drink
Dude,
to that.
right?
I'm so glad you guys are doing
Right?
this.
This has been-
Nick Ultra, get over here.
Yeah, right. This has been the most incredible fun time that we've had with a couple GoPros and a few cheap microphones from Amazon. And I'm really glad that you guys have all been around for the ride. So without further ado, let's get into the pod, dude.
So what we were talking about just before
Yeah.
this was that you guys have a little, I don't know, how much is it? Like
So
80,
get what you
100
get.
bucks?
no,
Get what you get?
those are 60 bills.
60?
60 bucks.
All right.
Well, that was
so
pre-COVID.
That's that's
Give it a
pre-COVID. So we're
rest,
gonna
man.
bring that up to probably 80 or 100
Yeah,
now.
well, because
Yeah.
like in today's money,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
yeah.
So they have this design,
It's like a little banner,
and I was talking about how I can't draw stuff like this.
dude.
I can't, like, if you asked me to draw something like this and put it as a part of a tattoo,
Right.
it would never look like this. Like, drawing this kind of, like, assuming that I drew this and had to say that it's done,
Like,
there's a
nailed
part of,
it.
like my body feels different. My blood pressure's different.
Yeah.
Thinking
Yeah.
about, like, I'm like, no, I have to make it bigger and draw it. I'm like,
One of
it's
my
just-
favorite-
I
my-
can't draw that.
One of my favorite days ever in my tattoo career that hasn't been very long, but was the day that I came back a lot more confident than when I left when I moved to California. And I
Such
came
a
back
good
for
feeling.
a guest spot with you, and I finally got to tattoo with you again. And I had the Percy Waters catalog that I picked up from Royal Art Books, and I fucking threw that thing on the scanner and just fucking scanned you an eagle and snake, and I was like, trace that line for line, please, just to watch your fucking wires cross in your brain.
It hurts
It
so
was the
bad.
best day of
I
my
have.
life.
If you'd like that drawing, I have.
You still have it?
I
Oh,
have
that's
it.
so incredible.
Like,
I want to check that out.
if you
text me a photo of it. I want to see it. I don't think I got to see it finished that day. Did I?
no,
No?
but what I did was you and I talked about that flash sheet. I've got to tattoo one of them since then, which I'll show you.
That was the one that was based off of whose work was it that we were checking
it was
out?
Percy Waters.
Was it Percy Waters?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
At least I think so.
Yeah.
But it's like the woman with like a shawl and she's like holding a rose
Yes,
up and she's grabbing one of her
100%.
breasts.
That's a good
Like
one.
I got to do that one.
That's so
like
sick.
at a Friday the 13th event, which I'd never done before. So it was like I've been tattooing for 13 years and I've never done a Friday the 13th before.
Dude, the first Friday the 13th I did in at the Order, I did 58 tattoos
In a day?
in one day.
I think
58.
you beat the world
No,
record. I
no,
think
the
you
world
beat
record's
Kat
at
Von D.
300.
Kat Von
No,
D,
I got
the
done
illustrious
and
world
dude,
record holder.
We've
I got-
spoken about this,
Yeah.
dude.
58's the
I could
world
smoke-
record.
I could smoke these.
Dude, he
fools.
could smoke me all day long.
I'm
He's
so
so
fast.
fast. It's
Line
unbelievable.
work. I'll
Dude,
shave
he-
with a liner.
He just fucking did
I've
the
looked this
whole,
up.
the whole back of Kyle's head today in
Back
like
of the neck,
the back of the
top
neck
of
and
the
head,
top of the
up to
head,
the nape of the
inside
head.
the neck.
He did it in like 45 minutes. He lined the whole thing out.
well.
Maybe a little less, right?
It was like
Yeah,
38
maybe.
minutes.
Maybe an hour. you
Yeah,
know.
maybe an hour. Okay. Do you want to trade
Let's
spots?
swappity swappity.
Yeah, let's swap it, dude. Slide over there.
Go.
Yeah, there
I'm
we
gonna
go.
bring my drawings that I have to talk about. I don't care how
Yeah,
many times.
you gotta
I'm
talk
going to
about
make you listen to this story 11 times.
Oh yeah, I need my stool. I need my fix.
Here, let me just do this.
I'll roll away.
Oh man, that really sucks. But we can splice all that
No, you're
together.
good. You're good. You're good.
Or
There we go.
can we instead of using rolly stools, can we each just sit on a motorcycle?
That would be so
Yeah,
cool.
that's
for a
what we need to
future
do.
episode for sure.
I hope you
Skylar,
invite me
you're
onto an
definitely gonna be
episode.
back.
I hope you invite me onto an episode.
You're definitely
Right.
gonna be back.
The
without a
episode
doubt.
where you do that.
This is way too high, Skylar.
You
There you go.
are too short.
You are.
it is.
We are the same size, obviously.
We're the same
so,
height. Judging by
At the tat table, we are the same size.
Yes. In
So
terms
no-
As equals.
So, this is gonna be really weird because this is gonna start with like flip
Yeah,
flop.
right.
But
I love it. We should
no,
just switch back in the middle.
But
Oh,
no,
man.
Bobby came back here though, man. I was so fucking pumped. He was like setting shit up, and I came in and stuff, and I'm still like half asleep and trying to wake up. I was like, "Oh shit, man!" We're like, I wanted to bro out and give him a big hug. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" He's like,
Dude, it was when you did all
my,
that
my
red.
torso. I was like, "All right, man, high five," and he like pulled his shirt up and shit, and dude, the first thing, like a quarter of a second. Derek Noble,
Yeah.
and I still feel that way, and I've been a big fan of Derek's shit. And,
Me too.
and
Yeah.
tremendously.
Yeah.
And it's so illustrated, but still so fucking proper, and such a very almost a very traditional background.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, I mean,
he
you could tell by his
sprouted
brother's
out.
work.
He-
I mean,
Dude.
Todd's work is so fucking good.
Incredible though, but
Amazing.
dude, the demons, the devils, like
I
just
got
the
to see-
illustrated, the claws, the demons, the goat heads and stuff.
Yeah.
And I personally I can't draw that way, and so
Yeah.
it's naturally very impressive to me.
I got to see a whole sleeve from Derek, from like shoulder to elbow, well, half
Incredible.
sleeve from Derek, and
Like
he
with your
just
actual
with my
eyeballs?
actual eyes in
Dude,
real life.
so cool.
And it was on this kid who I won't name because he's not a great person, but he just saturated, like it literally looked like he just whipped his black where it needed to go and then just filled it all red. And it was so fucking cool. Like everything about it was great.
Just proper,
absolutely loved
when
it.
it's right, it's right.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know,
for sure.
and-
That's the best way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah. And
His
Super
work is
impressive,
so
though.
legible
Yeah,
and like
dude.
it's so
Very
stripped
legible.
down. I love his color palette. It's why I want to go
Incredible.
down to like those 4 or 5 colors.
Yep.
Because his like mustard, yellow,
Yeah, mustards,
red,
olives,
green,
weird, yeah,
like,
clay, grays.
just super.
Just
it's
gross.
So, it's
It's just
so
gross.
legible, but it's not though.
Yeah.
Like when you look at his paintings and his drawings, the way that he uses line and like those little skin breaks.
Yep.
Like his watercolor paintings are infinitely different than his tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
But I just love it. I just love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
I absolutely love his work.
His work is
I-
so
I
high
see
impact.
A very, maybe a quarter of Trevor Moss.
Yeah.
Slowly poking out of that traditional background as
I've
well.
been seeing him do some stuff where I think he's at the
He's so
point where
fucking
he's like
impressive,
markering.
man.
He's markering a lot of
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
like that's where you start to get weird. You know what I mean? You start to.
And
step
then I see him
outside of the
do that
boundaries
stuff.
and-
I'm like, fuck, man, I suck.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
that being able to draw stuff on, like, by the time you get to that point, you've learned to draw those things so many times that that's when you can finally experiment on something different than
Yes.
you're not just learning how do I draw a rose. If you
Right.
learn how to draw a rose and you draw it enough times, you eventually figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And what where I get a lot of fun drawing is learning something well enough that I can move it in space.
yes. Which
If-
is the coolest
if I-
thing that you explained to me.
Wait.
If
Wiggle
I
and
want
move,
to
yeah.
draw a rose where you just look at it and it's the classic 5 petals,
Sure.
great. That's
Sure.
awesome. Now do it when it's rotated 90 degrees,
Yeah.
like away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do, what,
Yeah, I
what,
remember we were
now
showing
what
that
does
a
that
lot.
look like?
Yeah.
Now what, but once you figure out how to do that, now what do
Yeah.
you, where does it go next? It's
Right.
panther morphs and that's what happens.
Space
like I'm going to draw a
tigers,
rose
yeah.
with teeth on it and like Like
Yeah,
that's where I
right.
go.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just, like,
Eagle wings and sparrow wings.
'cause
you
why
know what I
not?
mean? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
to me, that's where that real artistic individuality
agree.
comes. It's from knowing one subject matter so well that now you can get so
Right,
weird. And I
right.
think that's the most fun part of art.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's getting past the learning about it, and then now you get to use that as a weapon in your bag.
Right.
I thought it was cool too is implementing those things that I learned from you when we were doing that. Is like remember when we drew chrysanthemums upside down from the bottom up?
Ooh,
like just looking
fuck.
at the bottom of a chrysanthemum.
My
And,
balls just
trying
shriveled.
to understand how to draw that. But it's like that's such a tough thing. Like it's actually
Totally.
quite simple once you figure it out.
Yeah.
But
a formula.
yeah, it's
Everything's a
definitely
formula.
if it breaks down into shapes. But like when I spent so much time drawing chrysanthemums, and then I understood how to draw one well, and then I could strip it down and draw it traditionally, super fucking easy. Like a peony now, I could draw peonies with my left hand now
Yep.
at this point. Like I've drawn so
Fuck.
many roses. I've
Still
done the
have a
same
tough
thing.
time.
I love drawing stuff with my left hand. Like when I'm learning something
Yeah.
new, I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
So we were talking about my dominant hand earlier.
Yeah,
but,
we were.
I like to jerk off with my left hand.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
I know two things about Nick
One, he loves jerking off
with his,
with his left
and
hand.
then he also likes doing it with his
with his
left.
right hand.
My wife is just my buddy.
But
Poor girl.
when I draw with my left hand, it gives me permission to learn and to grow in a thing. Because if I'm drawing something that I stereotypically struggle with, like say I'm drawing a person in perspective, in 3-point perspective, because that makes my brain hurt.
Yeah.
I can do it,
Likewise.
but like I suck at it. So when
Yeah.
I try and draw that, like if actually probably a better example is lettering. I'm not great at lettering, but if I draw that with my left hand, it gives me, I forgive myself for learning while I'm going through the process.
I suck right now because I'm using my non-dominant
It gives,
hand.
it just gives, nothing's worse than when you
sense.
try
I
and draw
never really
something
thought
you
about
know how to
anything
draw
like that.
with your good
Oh,
hand,
man.
and it still sucks.
I've had days where like
Never
I
thought
just
about anything like
yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
interesting, though. Truly,
It makes it a lot easier
honestly.
to not hate yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, I always hate myself, but you know.
but there's got to be. You know what's funny? I when I hung out with Corey. How do you say Corey's last name at Electric Gold? Connell.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Connell at he came to our shop and he was like, he was hanging out for like 2 days. Okay.
Sons of
And,
witches.
hold on. Just talk for a second.
Well, we're ringing. We'll crap this out. Fuck them.
If they call back, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'll just
So anyway,
pull,
I was
I'll
hanging
pull
out with
the phone
Corey.
off.
Corey came out to our shop, and I'm keeping that in the podcast. All of
Fuck
that.
them.
Why not?
So Corey came
As
into the
raw as
podcast, Corey came to Los Angeles and hung out with me for a couple days, and he was like, "Do you not hate yourself all the time?" Because sometimes I get done with something and I'm like, "Hell yeah, that was cool. I actually enjoyed doing that." And it was weird because I never had anybody tell me that I'm not hating myself enough, because I kind of started enjoying the way that I'm tattooing now. I spent so much time like during my apprenticeship and like even well after that that I tried to accept who I am.
No, we don't. You guys are fucking piercings?
Really?
Of course, it was either that or do you,
What's your shop?
Yeah.
did you know that you're eligible to
Yes.
extend your
Yeah,
warranty
yeah.
on your
Your
car?
Google listing
And our
is
Google
yeah,
listing
our
is
Google
fucked,
listing is
man.
fucked
You know
up.
I just
what
bumped the table.
Everything's
Does this
fucked,
make you
man.
sound?
You should be good. Let me see here.
I'm
Yeah, we're
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
yeah, sorry about all the
And,
background noise. We've just been having a shit time tonight.
Don't apologize.
Yeah,
This is real.
I'm done apologizing. This is actually what it sounds like.
We're
2023,
trying our
and we're not
best to keep this as
apologizing.
real.
But
and
anyway,
raw as
I've
possible.
tried in the last 2 to 3 years to accept who I am as a person and not compare myself to a bunch of other people on the internet that I did for so long. And I felt like that hindered my abilities to grow as a tattooer. Because now I think about it like this. If somebody can do something, I am capable of doing that as well. Like application of a tattoo. Like I remember I would look at my color and I'm like, why does my color look all muddy and gross? Well, I didn't understand how to do the clean out of the bottle color that's not all muddied up from me mixing colors together like I was taught to tattoo, which is completely fucking wrong if you're trying to do traditional. And like I'm learning these things and I'm starting to accept the fact that I am where I am, and I try not to hate myself as much. You know?
I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
There's a balance. I believe that there's a balance. I think that there's a balance with everything.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you're in the healthy spot of doing that.
absolutely.
Like, say that
specifically. Yeah.
Because well, you've been tattooing 7 years, somewhere in there.
7 years now.
Yeah, like at that point, at least comparatively to my career, like I didn't really like. I was still learning how to just apply tattoos.
Sure. Sure.
But I got a big jump start being around you and being around a couple of other people that I met along the way to like figure out. I feel like we had that conversation too, where it was like I learned how to apply tattoos before I learned how to draw really well. Like I could draw okay for a while.
You're not the only tattooer that's done that.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, I know a lot of people that I've met that are exactly like that. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with it. Yeah, for the longest time I was like self-conscious about that and shit. And now I'm just like trying to like be okay with that.
Do you not like seem to like apply this to all sorts of life, even like life as a young boy, a gentleman? I mean,
dude, I apply
we're
everything
doing
to a
it,
tattoo.
but you might not catch your growth spurt when you jump.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and shit like clicks and comprehends it, like not until you're ready. And I had a big jump personally. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me at least, nobody else might ever really realize it, but and I felt like I was just doing like fucking nothing for years, you know what I mean? And then something just clicked, and probably working with Trevor and other people and you know, just more heads the better, you know, and accumulating knowledge and stuff like that, whether you can use it or apply it at the time, it might click later, you know. And
at the very least, it's some part of your artistic growth, like, or your learning. Like, if say that for some part of your career you did lettering and that was it, then when you go and start doing Japanese traditional later on in your career, you're going to bring lettering into that, and that's going to be dope in some way or another. Like, one of my favorite artists, Noah Moore, like, he's so good at lettering. Like, he's so good at it. But then he's doing Japanese type imagery, but then doing it in a super like graffiti illustrative style, but it's like, it's still classy. Like, it's because he brought all these other elements to it that I think are so sick. Like, I lean into what you're doing right now, because like eventually those little things that man, I spent forever doing biomech. Dude, and then now when I bring biomech in, I also like doing traditional shit. So like now mixing traditional
I've
and
seen
biomech.
Some of your traditional stuff, and I know that's not like, you don't want to like forte. I love seeing your, and Trevor Moss as well though. You know, like when he breaks out and does like an old school traditional stuff, I'm like,
it's different,
man,
because we just had
so
different
much other shit to offer, dude, and it's so crispy, dude. And I saw some of your shit.
Thank you.
Awesome, dude.
I feel like, I'm a little self-conscious about that stuff because
that's all right.
My friend Noah, did I tell you about how we just line for line did the same tattoo?
Yes. I was there that day.
No way.
That was a Hunter's hand. Yep. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So, but like, anyway, so I drew a design for one of my clients. I gave it to my friend Noah, and he's like, I told him, like, you have to tattoo this, like, as is, line for line, rip everything. And he did it, and it was great. It was just amazing. In my opinion, he's such a strong traditional tattooer, and the design played to all of his strengths. Yeah. And so he just crushed it, in my opinion. And like, and looking at other people's work, you didn't do it, so you can like it. So, but when I looked at mine, it was like, it was good. It was applied well, but it was just weird. It didn't have it didn't follow a lot of the conventional rules of traditional work. So it just seemed off to me.
Yeah. To you,
yeah. But like, it's like, do other people like it? Like, yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah,
but
who cares?
Like, but I sent it to him, and his exact words were, "Ha ha ha ha! Don't do those leaves again."
I remember when that happened.
I hate when fucking tattooers tell me some shit like that. I'm like, oh man, I like cribble up and cower down. Yeah.
I want to say, I haven't gotten a lot of compliments from people that I look up to, but I got one from Noah one day, and it was on like the silliest tattoo. Like, it was just a rose. It was maybe like palm size, and I just whip shaded the whole thing, just like from the base of the rose all the way to the edge. Just did pepper whips the whole way, and he's like, "Dude, you're improving a whole lot." And I was like, oh, "My guy."
Yeah,
dude. To hear that from him, because his wife crushes it too. Like, both of them, just fucking amazing tattooers. If you're for some reason listening to the podcast and you're in Longview, Texas.
Yeah,
Longview, Texas. Check out Home Free Tattoo.
I
think
believe
it's
so.
called
And
Home Free Tattoo.
Noah Coronado and Sienna Coronado.
Yep. Yeah, check them out. They're great.
They are just incredible tattooers, and they're incredible people too.
I got to tattoo next to one of Noah's pieces. A client of mine lived in Los Angeles, and a client of his lived in Los Angeles, and she was like, "Hey, I want to get tattooed." And then he gave her my information. So his wife does amazing black work, and so does he. So like there was like a piece on her thigh and a piece on their calf, and then like the whole kneecap wrapped around, so there was just the ditch of the knee left. And she's like, I want to fit a Hanya mask in there. And I was like, sick. Like, let's make it fucking happen. And I did that Hanya mask, and I was dripping buckets of sweat.
Like, I'm your guy.
Because like their healed work, like 5 years healed work on this girl's leg, like just looking proper as fuck. And I sent it to Noah before I posted on the internet. I was like, hey, look, I did in that girl's leg. And he was like, all right, my man. Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
It felt good.
I've fucking turned people away. Like, dude, got like fucking stellar work. Like Scott Sylvia, fucking Panther, and I mean, whatever.
I got the tattoo on
Heather
Ty's
Law
leg.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
I got the tattoo next to some of Heather's
And
work.
speaking of Heather, too, as well, though, she's just a tremendous tattooer in general. I mean, I've seen her out and about, and I've seen a ton of her work, and just a stellar tattooer. I've never actually personally met her, but I've tattooed her a couple of her customers and stuff like that. And
she's also going to be joining us for the podcast.
Yeah, she'll be here.
On, I don't know
just
what
a couple
episode
weeks,
it's gonna
right?
Be, a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
We'll have her on the pod.
Yeah. This chick came in here though. This got on a true story though, and she had this like phenomenal fucking like portrait of her fucking dog on her fucking front of her thigh, and it was like 3 months fucking healed, still just like immaculate, bright as ever. Like I thought it was like 2 weeks maybe fresh. You know what I mean? And she wanted like a Florida orange or so, whatever the fuck. And I had a sorry ass fucking cocksucker apprentice here, and he thought he was swooping it in there and shit like that. and I swooped in there. I said, you know who the fuck did that thigh piece? He's like, no. Like, stand the fuck down, motherfucker. And I was dripping in sweat. This motherfucking cocksucker, he didn't give no fucks. He didn't care about anybody, anything like that. And
he would have just been just fine doing a shoddy tattoo.
Oh yeah, he would give no fucks. He gives no fucks at all. And the chick that came down, she was just visiting, so she lived down there.
Lived down in Cape Coral.
At the time, you know what I mean. And I was still dripping. I was dripping bullets, man. Like, fuck, man. I know Heather's gonna see this, man. Like, this fucking, I hate this. Like,
I love that.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Dude.
It's terrifying, you know. But like,
I did a tattoo on a fellow coworker and a friend, Tiff, and she let me do an avatar, like a Zuko piece on her hip or thigh. I think I just posted it, but it's right next to a Curtis Burgess piece.
That's so sick.
And Matt Helmer and there's one other person over there. But anyway, like when I get to tattoo next to somebody who I look up to, it was
for sure.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, am I sweating bullets? Like, but am I gonna make sure that tattoo
I'm doing
is
my
just
best?
Yeah, it's I'm gonna like whoever has to put a tattoo next to mine. I want them to sweat.
Exactly, right.
You know, sometimes I'll do like that whole grime video that he talks about on Vice, where like you nail something and then you have to like
do it again.
You have to do it again. Like
that's why I don't do symmetry.
Yeah, dude. I did one person's hand and it was just fucking perfect, just flat. Every bit of color was saturated on it, and you want to do the other side in the same flower, just in different color. And I was like, man, come on, dude. Like, I already did it once. Like, you're going to make me do it again?
Find somebody else, bro.
I talked them into something else, but I was like
wiener.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do that shit again.
Dude, you could have done that. You have the skill set.
I totally could have done it. And I was like,
I love that challenge.
I kicked myself in the ass about that because I totally copped out and just did like a butterfly on the top of their hand. And I was
I bet that butterfly was dope.
The butterfly was tight. Butterfly was cool.
But like I love being handed, like, I do a lot of cover-ups. I just do a shitload. I do a ton of them.
Yeah.
So when somebody, I had this dude come in with a tribal piece on the front of his arm. It's that big octopus on my bid. Yeah. But he came in, he's like, yeah, I got some old English lettering, and then I got tribal on top of it. And then now, and it's like, can you cover this? And it's like tribal up here, and then some lettering, like a elbow to wrist, and then a thing on the inside of his arm. And he's like, "Can you cover this?" And I just looked at him and went, "Yes."
Sure.
Yes, I
I'll
can.
figure something out. Yeah.
Yes, I can do that. Dude, I
Like-
saw you do what was the one where it was like a Superman tribal armband or something, and then you did like a moose and some wolves.
Oh,
and
my friend Spencer.
Spencer.
Or Ryan. His last
Is it
name's
Ryan?
Spence.
Oh, okay. I remember I was very fresh into tattooing when you started that, and I thought you were a wizard when you covered up that armband with
Dude, I covered it with so much opaque gray, you could have done anything.
It was bananas.
That was not my best cover up, and it was
Really?
still a good one.
It was
yeah.
still, I thought it was great, dude.
Like, I mean, you'd never see the old shit.
yeah.
Like, there's one part of that, he had, oh, man, I think it was like Brandon or something, Brandon.
Just the name.
The
Brandon?
name Brandon in
Okay.
this weird, like,
Marlon
tribal
Brandon.
kind of lettering, and I turned it into Spence.
Really? You
Yeah.
turned Brandon into Spence?
Spence, I think.
I
or
believe
like,
you.
like, dude, it's the like I look at it. I looked at that cover up now, and I had to look at the before and after to remember what I did because
yeah.
I
You
was.
can't
I-
even tell.
That's
No, it's the same style. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the old style did me a lot of favors. It was like that brush script, and it wasn't really consistent.
Yeah.
Like a printed type font. Like somebody drew it and then drew it poorly, but it was good enough for the style that they were doing. It's
Sure.
kind of a tribal armband.
Yeah.
I got you.
But so I mean, my view of that, I had a bunch of like cheat codes that I could use, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like they all worked. They worked really well. But like
Sure.
it's like if that man told anybody else that I did that tattoo, like I wouldn't be stoked that he was telling everybody because I don't want to be known about that kind of lettering of tattoos.
did this.
Like it's like I would
I've got
want him to
tattoos
show
like
another tattooer the before and after and what I
Yeah.
did because even like, I mean I feel like I'm tooting my own horn, which I don't like at all. But
but you know,
like
it's nice
when
to
I
be
look at
pumped
the
about
like
shit,
we were talking about it the last time we recorded, like how when like you first see a tattoo that you did before you realize
That
you
you
did
did
it,
it? Oh.
and then you're and it's like somebody walks in with a 6 sleeve and you're just like,
Dude.
man, that thing's dope. I did it. Gross.
right.
Fucking
right.
hate it.
Yeah,
but those
fucking hate it.
yeah, but that
Throw that whole arm in the garbage.
that
dude.
1 second before you know you remember that you did it, like
Or even
is-
some of
is
the
just
stuff, though,
I
that-
come back to those moments and it's just delicious. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I can recognize that I did okay.
Yeah.
It's like I try and
Yeah.
go back to those moments and forgive myself and learn and grow.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I really enjoy. I enjoy that too. Like when we go out, and like I know that like getting compliments from like random people on the street on like the tattoos I did.
They
on
don't know
Emily.
shit.
Like yeah, like
They're
people
goobers,
outside
man,
don't
you
know any better. Like if tattooers complimented it, I would really give a shit. But
I
like.
we watch Ink Masters.
But sometimes it's nice, like when people are just like, that is like, there's this lady at the Thai restaurant, and every time I come in, she just tells me that the panther you did on my neck is the most coolest thing she's ever
it's
seen.
pretty tough.
She's like, that is so cool. I love your tattoo on your neck, and I'm like, thank you so much for the 6th time this month.
Black
like,
power.
But yeah, right. Yes.
You know
I
what
love
mean?
Wakanda
Respect,
forever.
baby,
Dude,
you know what I
that
mean?
most people aren't tattooers, so
Yeah.
Right.
that's literally who you're selling your stuff to.
Mm-hmm.
And if other people like, you were telling me actually on the podcast last time that like your tattoos is why you got jobs
Yeah.
in LA.
Yeah, my tattoo on my neck got me a job
Dude.
without
That's
even
like-
asking for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
That
just
is super
awesome.
And you know what
It's
else was
just
funny?
awesome.
So not to big you up too hard. I mean, this is your episode, so why not pick you up on my shoulders and rah you a little bit? But I went into Mark Mahoney's shop,
deserved.
Shamrock Social Club, and I was driving down Sunset, and at the time I had no money, and I was doing Postmates. So I was tattooing
yeah.
12 to 5, and then doing Postmates from 6 till whenever I got tired. And that was my way of making money because I had no clients at all in Los Angeles. And I drove past Shamrock. I saw Mark standing there, and I was like, I have to go in. Like,
Yeah.
I never see him there. I want to stop. So I double park. Emily's in the car. I'm like, you just wait right here. And
Please.
I get, please, like, just
I
hang
love
out.
you.
I love you. Yeah,
Your
I
hair is
wasn't like, I
perfect.
hate you. Sit here. But anyway, I run in, and I'm like, hey, Mark, how's it going? I'm Robbie. And I just walked in like I knew him already because I know that that's the kind of guy that Mark is, you know. And he shook my hand, and he was like, yeah, you tattoo in the area? And I was going to ask him for a job, but I knew that what I did didn't work.
line up
It doesn't
super
work
well.
there, you know. And the first thing he said was, who the fuck tattooed your neck? And it was before Chaz did this side. So he was talking about the panther you did. And I was like, my buddy, Skylar Burnham, I was like, you want to see his Instagram? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you tattoo? He thought I was a collector, you know? And I was like, yeah, I tattoo as well. And fucking Mark Mahoney complimented your neck and then told me that he couldn't pack color like I do. And I thought that was the fucking coolest thing in the goddamn world. But and aside from that though, it was so cool to have somebody that I looked up to for so long that literally took, I mean, I was in there for 30 minutes. Like took 30 minutes out of his time to just bullshit with me and talk to me. It was like, Robbie, if you ever want to come back, like you're more than welcome to come back in here whenever you want. And I just thought it was so awesome. And it trips me out that so many people are like instantly shitty sometimes. And it's like somebody who's been doing this forever was meeting somebody that they've never met before with open arms. And then some tattooers you meet are just so like, no, I don't fuck with anybody. Hate them. Hate people. Don't want to talk to them. It just trips me out, dude.
Oh, people on different journeys.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not. I'm like, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see more inviting, warm people.
Oh, yeah.
But like, also, like, tattooing is one of those like grungy industries where you like, if somebody's like a little dirty and crusty on the edges, like they probably earned it.
Yeah,
like
for sure. Yeah, yeah. If they're not the nicest people in the world, there's probably a reason for that.
Oh man, was it that Bowery tattoo where he's just like, I only put stencils on once? Like,
oh yeah. That was Bowery Stan.
Dude,
Bowery Stan said
that's
that.
the coolest part.
I don't know.
That's so good.
I've never verified the story, but I heard it secondhand, and it was I think it was somebody getting an acetate stencil. And let me double check that audio now.
Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. Now we're good. Yeah, it was somebody getting
These
a Bowery.
tits, man.
Yeah, dude, you're just goofing off all over tonight. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway.
Stan Moskowitz.
Yeah, Stan Moskowitz. I don't remember what I was doing, but anyway, we are at the 30-minute mark of the podcast. If you're still here and listening to our rambling mess, please take a moment and listen to this advertisement. But it's not really an advertisement.
Buy some fucking merch.
This is our moment.
He gave a fuck.
Yeah, this is our moment to kind of plug ourselves. This is where a real advertisement would go, but we've decided to never take money for the podcast unless you want to give it to us. So if you want to sign up as an active listener on our anchor.fm account, you can do that. It is either $1, $5, or $10 a month. And if you do that, we will get that money, and it will help us fund the podcast that we are putting in front of you right now. Also, we have merch available at our Instagram bio and our store Frontier designed. We will have a design by Skyler on the web store available, and we are going to be
Adam Dunning.
Yep, and Adam Dunning.
We will absolutely have him back.
Yeah, we need to have Adam on an actual podcast.
Adam's just incredible.
Yeah.
I love that man,
dude. He was one of the sweetest, like, coolest dudes.
He's so good at podcasting.
Yeah, well, he'd had a couple.
If you work next to him, which you have, dude. Listening to the way that he jumps into conversations is my favorite. He jumps over all, not necessarily pleasantries, but
I love it though.
But like, there's no intro. It's like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's the weather like? He's like, what do you think about the FBI revealing that?
You like Glocks? Yeah, I do, man. I fucking do, bro. You know,
dead ringer.
Dude,
oh my god,
fucking love it, dude. I love it. He's such a sweet dude, though, man.
Oh
dude,
man,
and does tremendous work though as well. We'll plug that right here.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Dunning tattoo.
Yeah, right. It's going to be in the bio. We'll put Adam down in the bio.
It'll be on there, but
we were at a holiday party or something like that, and he started psychoanalyzing Ashley like in front of everyone. And I was just like, hey, look over there. Like, and I'm like, Ashley, you don't want to like to go down this road in front of everybody, like protecting my wife from this thing. But he was just like he is unafraid to get intimate with you.
I love it.
Conversationally, like he wants to know.
The first day I met him,
dude, it was
like the second I met him.
I love that.
Yeah,
it was so good.
I feel like Adam is one of those people that you meet and you feel like you've known them for 10 years.
I did.
Immediately. Yeah, that's how I felt.
I feel that way about you as well.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I have known
dude,
you.
I gotta. If I'm saying
it,
it,
10 years,
no.
Dude, you give the best fucking hugs.
Really
you mean that shit.
I don't like bad hugs.
Yeah, no,
like,
dude,
like,
you give the best hugs, man. That's a really good.
You know what?
You mean that shit, you know? No, yeah, absolutely. And I remember that, you know, naturally, and
very important. Very
yeah,
important.
it is. You know, human people connection and stuff like that.
Dude, have you ever had one of those like shitty like side hugs?
Yeah. And they're like limp hugs.
Yeah.
Bullshit limp hugs. Fuck you.
Yeah. Skylar gives the best fucking hugs, man.
No,
if he's hugging you, man, he's gonna hug you to mean it, dude.
I don't let go, dude.
Never,
Oh,
never,
man.
not ever.
Yeah. for the rest of forever.
But
Christ.
Now I blasted that out, so
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, we did our little ad. It was kind of a shitty ad, but
No.
still an ad.
No, it was a good
nonetheless.
ad. It was a great ad.
Don't talk
Yeah, oh,
poorly about
sorry.
yourself. This is where
I did a great ad.
we did
The best ad.
This,
But you
this
know
is
what's
where we
crazy?
are. This is like
You know what's crazy
how
about
you
this?
colored outside the lines that one time.
Yeah,
That's what that ad
yeah.
was.
I've done that before.
It's okay. This is part
Yeah.
of our career.
I made a mistake, and I think about it every night before I go to sleep.
You do.
No, I don't. I don't really care anymore.
Okay.
I
Hey,
think about
do you remember when I first started tattooing?
Yes.
And yes, vividly. I was there.
Skip a beat.
I was
Uh-huh.
I was doing this little blue rose on this girl's hip, and I don't remember her name, but she was very sweet. And I was coloring it in, and every square inch of it was not solid. And then you looked at me and you said, "Why are you doing that?"
What else? What else are you gonna say?
That was the first thing he said to me. Those
Yeah.
were the first words that Skylar said out of his. Why are you doing that? And then I promptly put my machine down because then somebody noticed I was
I'm
doing
not
it so
sure.
bad. And I went in the bathroom and I threw up, and then came back.
That's what you need,
we're
No,
man.
it's like,
That's
it's
what
like the
you
rest of
need.
that conversation where you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm like,
I don't
and
even
like,
know
then-
why I'm here, bro.
Yeah. And paraphrasing my response was like, then you should stop.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
should start working with intent a little bit more.
Yeah, I was just doing like big broad circles. It was really awesome. I was coloring blue.
And was that not
If-
like
the
most
thing is that the way-
hurtful but useful information?
Dude, it was the best. I
Like,
would rather
you know what
see-
I mean.
see
As
the-
much as it might have sucked.
Yeah, like when people just pull the Band-Aid off and they're like, "That's fucked. Don't do that."
Yeah.
Then you don't do it. You stop doing
If
it.
You
no
stopped
one's here to say
immediately.
that you suck,
Yeah,
then
and
you'll never know.
yeah. I always talk about how I learned how to tattoo, and I tell people that you taught me, and then
Mm-hmm.
I talk. They always are like, "Oh, well, how was your apprenticeship?" And I was like, "I didn't have to do an apprenticeship. I just had to change the head gasket on his Honda Civic."
Fair trade.
I think it's great because it makes us sound like trailer trash,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I had
Welcome
a
to
Honda
Florida,
Civic
ladies
for a
and
while.
gentlemen.
dude. It was the best, man. And that's not actually how I learned how to tattoo. That's dumbing down what happened.
No,
in the whole
but
situation.
that's where like you guys where we went from being coworkers to friends.
Yeah, it's being
For
friends.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, we went out and fixed. It was like a 95 Civic or
98.
something. 98 Civic.
Dude, that thing was so
Dude,
sick.
yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Hondas are
fixed the
great,
fuck
man.
out of that thing, dude. That was awesome.
And I sold it for exactly what I paid for it.
That's
so
so
I
rich.
Dude.
I bought it for $2,000 and then put
Sold
like
it.
30,000 miles on it and then sold it
That's
for $2,000
win-win,
again.
dude. That's
Yeah,
win-win.
you can't beat that.
That's
And then I
free
bought another
30,000
truck.
miles.
And then you sold that truck, and then you got another truck.
And then I sold that one and got
Sold that
another one.
truck, got
Yeah.
another one. Just Skylar's
Well,
super into little Toyota trucks.
Dude, I
I
have
love,
it.
yeah,
Dude,
Toyota's got
I
it
didn't
going
drive
on,
it down here because it's running a little weird right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I drive.
My
the
favorite was
little 80s.
throwing all our tat shit in that and going to the Tampa convention.
Dude,
It was so
much fun.
I love that.
I will do that with you.
Oh,
at
we're
any time.
doing it. Oh, I was gonna ask. Nah, we'll talk about that off the air. I was gonna ask
Convention?
about the Tampa convention if you're doing it with Electric Gold or if you want to do it with us.
I don't know.
Post
I mean,
up.
I don't think it would.
I want a
Dude,
whole row.
We should just
whole row.
Dude, we should
do
just
the
buddy
row.
up.
Yeah,
That'd
we
be
should
so
buddy up
sick.
with Ariel.
Row.
We should
Dude,
buddy up
just
with Ariel.
message Ariel. They'd be so into
Yeah,
it.
I'm super into that. We'll actually make that
man,
happen.
Yeah.
Because but the only thing that would keep me from that is if we're traveling.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot you're gonna be in the van.
Hopefully,
You want to talk about van life stuff?
Van life.
kind of. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
talk
into
about
it.
van life stuff. What do you got? What's your project?
Minimals.
Right now, like this week, we're just doing body work. Like
Yeah?
actually, we're.
No, I mean, what's your van? What is the? What
oh,
is the
I drove.
setup?
I have a 2001 Chevy Express 3500 15
awesome.
15-foot box truck
Fuck yeah.
without a no overhang. It used to be a Spectrum movie production vehicle. So it came with a generator, an AC unit, a full home breaker box, like shore power. It has a roof deck.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
All that
it's
was in it.
It was
already
there. Yeah.
already
kidding me?
we,
It's like-
we stripped it all down, so they had the like insulated floors and like all the conduit and all the electrical stuff wired through the floor. We ripped it all out and got it down to base metal,
Oh shit.
like recocked the whole thing, redid the floors. We just got a new bumper on it, so we got a class 3 like
I love that we've been talking for 2 weeks about this bumper. It's so sick.
dude. We hashtag LineX. We got it down here in Sarasota. They rebuilt like a whole custom bumper on the back end of it.
Really?
So it's just the
Didn't you
best.
say that you could pull your 2 of your trucks with that bumper? What did Ashley say?
Well, you can tow up to 16,000
That's
pounds
what it
with
was,
it.
yeah.
And like the van itself can only or can tow whatever. It's who
it's
cares?
math. Who cares?
And also, we're here to talk about tats and
Yeah.
stuff. The whole
So
punchline is that
is-
we're going to be traveling in our van
Yeah.
because we got to build it all out. So
your goal is to kind of travel in the van and just guest spot
Super
around.
rad.
yeah, my
Kinda-
wife's a travel nurse, so
Nice.
or not a travel nurse. She's an ER nurse,
Nice.
but she can travel.
Mhm.
So
just go
if she
anywhere.
took a contract somewhere, then I can tattoo anywhere. So
Absolutely.
like I just like let's go to Nebraska,
cool.
like, and I would literally hit up
And
just
you
Dave
still know
Koenig's
all the
shop and
memories
just see. It's like,
everywhere
hey,
you
can I fucking hang out with you?
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the beauties of like having because you've done a decent amount of traveling already, so you have
little
like a pretty okay network of people around, and then also with the beauty of like Google reviews, just wherever you're going, just put tattoo shop afterwards, just start calling people. That's what I did when I got to Los Angeles. I just was like, tattoo shops near me, and I was like, that one's right around the corner from my
What's up,
house.
guys?
Better
What
call
y'all
them.
doing?
Yeah, and that's what I did, and that worked
Yeah,
out great.
I mean, like when I first moved to Florida, that's how I ended up finding a shop.
Yeah,
That's it. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's not.
Florida's
I mean,
the
especially
lowest
for
bar set.
especially for but that's where I moved, so that's where I had my experience.
Yeah.
the lowest
I mean,
bar for education and the lowest bar for tattooing.
Nebraska.
I don't think that's true.
Florida and
No.
Arkansas.
Because there's some shredders in Florida.
Oh, yes.
There are.
Yeah.
And like it's like I don't know. I think I don't really know a whole lot of great tattooers coming out of South Dakota.
No, you're right.
No,
I'm
No,
sure
I
there
agree.
are,
I'm sure there's few. Sure.
Yeah.
Without
but that's
yeah.
like it's like but like since we're here in Florida and when I was in Colorado, like I got to know all the shredders in Colorado,
Yeah.
and then I'm in
That's
Florida,
sick.
so I get to know all the shredders here.
Yeah.
Like
So
I'm
if
just a
any
little bit more
shredders
intimately involved.
in South Dakota.
So if there are any South Dakota
if you're
shredders
listening
out
to
there,
this,
email the Tough Luck.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, shoot
Or
us over an
Zen
email.
Astray and
Or just Venmo us $5 and we'll put you on
at
the
least
phone.
$5. You
And
know.
then we'll put you on the podcast and shout you out.
But the bus stuff is super fucking rad,
Dude,
dude.
I'm so
You would
jealous.
love one of my very very dear friends, Joshua Morris. He's a musician and no kids and stuff, and he just got married and they have a big ass school bus and they, you know what I mean. They have They just travel.
Yeah, we know-
That's
I
all
know,
they do. And
One of Skylar's coworkers, Zach, is like that. He's got like 2 school buses and like a tiny home and like all this.
Dude,
just
Zach
lives
Bowden.
off-
So
Yeah,
rad.
Zach Bowden.
And his tattoo work is
Yeah.
just incredible.
He
He's
does,
such
like,
a shredder.
The craziest traditional designs. Like he'll do like a regular Jerry piece and then just make it like neon fucking crazy colors and slap like a
well,
big
see, yeah, that
blue
makes my mind
outline,
work.
dude. I love it.
I got a headache thinking
Yeah.
about it.
I love the way that Zach works, and he works so fast. It's unbelievable how fast he tattoos. Yeah.
And well, I got to tattoo him, and so did you.
Mm-hmm.
So we got not to,
That's it.
and I think you tattooed the symmetrical piece to mine.
Yes, I had to mirror you. Not of the same design, obviously.
At
but
all?
Yeah. Dude, I did like a googly eye. I did a dragon.
did a dragon
That
head.
looks like it just had googly eyes on it, which is my favorite. And he was all about it. He loved it. And I just touched that up, actually. I took care of that for him.
I had the same problem,
Yeah.
like, 'cause I did one of the Hanya sharks.
Yeah, we both had to touch up our tattoo. I haven't
Yeah.
had to touch up a tattoo in forever. And
I
had to
haven't
tou-
either,
And then I tattoo a
knock
tattooer
on-
and I have to touch it up. It's
Dude,
like, what
it
the
happened to me
fuck?
with Chaz. Chaz and
Yeah.
I traded, and like the tattoo I did on his stomach, and like there's these little gaps, like just like the solid black, because he numbed himself up.
Yeah.
I'm blaming
Fuck
Chaz.
yeah,
If
absolutely.
Chaz, if
Fucking
you're
absolutely.
watching,
Yeah,
I
Chaz.
love you. Please,
The
let me
stomach
fix your
separates
tattoo.
the boys from the men.
It really is.
But anyway, he just had a rough heel on some of the solid blacks that I did, and I just want to go over them again, just because like
He's like, no,
I
get
was
away
just
from me.
I was a little aggressive
Yeah.
because like that. I was just a little aggressive.
It's a high bar. You want that shit to be like as solid as possible.
I was trying,
you know.
and I was going like right around his belly button too, picking in a bunch of other tattoos.
Shitty
Like
skin,
I love
man,
that
yeah.
tattoo, and I just want it to be right for a homie.
Oh, that's
for
like
sure.
the spider gig.
that
tattoo's
weird
really cool.
that weird. It was I based it off a spiny orb weaver.
I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
like
one was
spiny
cool.
orb weavers, just spiders.
You did
They're
a bunch
cool.
of really cool textures on that one, if I remember. Or no, you did really really fine line spider webs.
Yep.
That's what it was.
I love that
thought
shit.
I did
Yeah.
like the kind of cholo style,
Like kind of
single
gray
needle.
wash line.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
I love that stuff. It's just
I
so
love it, dude.
classy. Like you can fit. Like I like depth in
Yeah.
like if my I don't like mixing. I like separating actually better yet the background, middle ground, and foreground, and not letting any of those things necessarily have overlapping values where they become confusing. So if you have solid black in the foreground and then you have your spider web, but also a solid black in the background, that those bump and they get weird.
yeah.
Yep.
And I like having some kind of contrast to
You have to.
differentiate to make your eyeballs see the things that I want you to
Did
see.
you
That's
tight through
textbook.
those with like gray wash then?
No, I
Or were
just
those
I just went pretty shallow.
Yeah.
And I used either
Kinda quick.
I'm either certain I used a super tight 3 or a super tight 4. I use super tight 4s from Lucky's a lot, like their
Yeah.
cartridges.
Yeah.
Like they have them needle on bar too. They're just like a super tight 3, except they're just a little more sturdy.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
so, and depending on what kind of style you're going for, like I really don't like the super fine line. That's not a work that I really do a lot. But those 4s are just fucking.
No shit.
Yeah, because you do them for like.
I'm interested,
Line, like,
yeah, I've
he does it
never-
mostly for like line variation.
Or like embellishment
Yeah,
on a thing, like,
embellishment.
or if you need to have a part of your tattoo stay kind of like a permanent stencil, like if you were going to come
Fair
back
enough.
to something later and you wanted to develop it, it happened. It's really advantageous with like a lighter gray, and then coming back to it later, like developing kind of like a new school style, like
Sure.
that kind of development of art.
Yeah.
It works super well. I really
Yeah.
like them.
That's super cool. That's super
And I
cool.
also do it for like little like lines, like if you were gonna do like the little like the joints in a skull,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those super
yeah.
tight lines. I love doing
Yeah.
a little bit of gray in that, and those
Yeah.
like those
I
kind of
use
little
some
things, they
things,
work out
yeah.
really well. I like that.
And you know, that being said, you were just talking about the needle bar sturdiness and stuff like that. You know, that being said, you know, personally, I love Jimmy and everything from Lucky's and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm interested. I'm a professional. I want to try everything, and I definitely have my own personal. I'm a prissy pants naturally.
He's
You know,
using,
I like
Enzo
what
needles and stuff.
I love. To my core, I love kingpin needles, no matter what. And I bought shit from Tim Hendricks, Saltwater. I bought Black Claw, and you know, I mean, I bought it all. I've tried it, and I'm open minded to everything. That needle bar sturdiness, like I get like needles from Lucky's and stuff, and I slap a rubber band on it. And it's like bowed, and it's just like running at the bottom of the tube and stuff like that. It's not sturdy.
I've had that
to me
happen.
personally.
Yeah.
Me personally.
The one thing I've
And
noticed.
I have really fast, really not very nice machines because I work fast. I mean, them very.
That
well
would totally
might.
make a big difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Naturally.
Makes a tremendous difference.
To me,
I feel like you should try the Lucky's needles with less than like not using the thick rubber bands.
they spray.
Does it spray for you?
Spray.
Yeah. It's,
I'll
it's
be
kind
peppered. I'll be peppered with
Yeah.
black. That's why I wear all black.
Yeah.
My wife said, she's like, I'm not buying you anything else. I'm like,
I wear an
have a-
apron for exactly that reason.
My wife bought me a fucking apron and
Dude,
shit, and
I love it. I like the idea of
I just feel like a fucking housewife. You know what I mean? Like,
what's
I think
wrong
it's
with
cool.
being a housewife.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
I love
just
it.
Need a
when I get
apron,
to when I get to wear my
iron.
apron and do the dishes at home, I love it.
I'm more of the cook. My wife cleans. I love
Man,
to cook. You know?
I cook the meat. My wife cooks the vegetables, and
Yeah.
like between the two
It's
of
a
us, we
fair
know
trade. That's a
everything.
good trade.
So,
You
like,
guys
Yeah.
are good to go.
but yeah, like I love putting on the apron before I start tattooing. It makes me feel like it's like this is like the last like article
Like
of
Mrs.
clothing for my
Doubtfire.
superhero outfit.
Yeah.
just like it's like like and I'll like kind of
Like
shimmy
Iron Man
into
ready
it.
to
Yeah,
go.
buckle it around my legs.
Right.
Like I'm
Speaking of
ready to
Iron
go.
Man, you know,
I love that part of it, and then it lets me wear nice clothes.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
Yeah,
ish. I
that's
mean, I'm
why I
dressed like
stopped
this.
wearing-
Well,
yeah.
I stopped wearing nice shoes because
Yes.
I kept ruining them, and then I had
like
my
walking
black
around
apron.
with the plastic
Yeah.
booties. You know?
And then you had given me that beige apron, and I actually started wearing that when I mixed pigment because I was getting like mixing powder. It gets all over everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like that apron really saved my life. Like having that.
Do you still have
outside-
it?
Oh yeah, it's in my backpack. Yeah, I cleaned it, and
Dude, fuck yeah.
but
It's supposed to be dry clean only. Did you
I
know
did dry
that?
clean it.
I never did. I just
Oh,
threw it
yeah.
in the washer.
I dry cleaned it.
Cold
I bought it
fucking
so-
water.
Yeah, it was like
Delicate.
Soap?
never
No,
soap.
we're not plugging. We're
fuck.
not
That's what
plugging
my
big
wife
soap
tells
on this
me.
podcast.
Big soap is a big no from me.
Big nope.
Our next ad here is for Monsanto. We don't. Oh man, big soap, big nope. That's quote me on that.
That brought to you by Tough Luck Tattoo
Brought
Podcast.
to you by us.
So,
man.
dude, I actually, speaking of big soap, I was like, because I have the knife and flag, the black wipeable one now.
Yeah.
That's the one I got like after the denim one, and I had the hardest time getting ink out of that thing, and I finally messaged one of the guys at Good Kind Tattoo because he had one too. I was like, dude, you need to try green soap, like, which seems so elementary
Stupid.
for
Green
like
soap and alcohol will cut that shit.
yeah, like but like I tried like soaking it in regular alcohol. I tried like dish soap. I tried like Opticide.
Gasoline.
But then when I poured just straight out of the bottle green
straight
soap,
not
concentrated green
break that
soap, I
shit
put
up,
that
yeah.
right on there and then like smeared it around. And it came right off.
Really?
Yeah.
It was
No shit.
just
That's
incredible.
how we used to break shit up. I mean, as far back as I know, like shit on the floor and stuff.
Really?
Green soap just squirted on the fucking floor, and then
But like
alcohol.
you can't dilute it.
Yeah.
It's just,
Gotta
like
be
I mean, it was diluted,
I've diluted it,
but
done
with
it.
the
well, but I couldn't do
alcohol,
it
though.
with the apron. I couldn't
Yeah.
dilute it because when I
Oh,
tried it
yeah,
before,
yeah,
like
no, that just soaks in immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably.
well,
makes
but it was
lot
still a
of sense.
wipeable surface.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been different.
Yeah.
Nope.
I feel like we can't win. Like
I hope the health department
we
doesn't
keep
hear
making
this.
like technical advances, and then we're like, I don't need an apron anymore.
I just admitted to myself I'm a dork and I'm gonna wear an apron, like, and because like
Yeah.
I want to wear like I'm tired of buying clothes because I have to buy specialty clothes. I'm 6'5" and I'm
Yeah.
skinny.
Yeah, me
like
too.
yeah, Nick is also 6'5". him and I shop at the same places because I mean, where else are you gonna get a 36-inch inseam?
Yeah.
And a
Nick-
32-inch
About it,
waist.
you know, and so
American Eagle.
Yeah. That's where.
I go to Big and Tall, you know,
Yeah.
personally, but you
Where?
know,
What
I
Big
just-
and Tall
Big and
store?
Tall?
There's one right up the corner.
Is it
and
just
I've
called
never-
Big and Tall?
Yeah.
There's got to
yeah,
be something
Big and-
else.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm just now starting to question
I just
whether or
feel
not
like-
you shop at the Big and Tall store.
If you're really as tall as you say you are, Nicholas,
Listen,
you-
my alterations.
You
place,
5'11" motherfucker
Maria.
over there.
you're being gracious right now.
Maria alters all my clothes because I'm fucking shaped ridiculously, and I'd love to wear an apron, but I feel like if I'm gonna wear an apron, I'm gonna wear like just a disposable plastic bib apron,
Oh,
just
dude.
like
Dude, that's
and
what
like
Curtis
the
did.
lunch lady
Reminded me.
gloves,
Hold
like
on.
like who are these
I-
gloves for? Like Incredible Hulk? Like yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna run this
I
out. Like
applied-
just give me the gloves up to the elbows.
dude,
You know what
check
I mean?
this out.
Let's be a gangster.
I applied for the shop.
Give me a hairnet.
I applied for the shop in Hollywood, and one of the requirements were that you had to wear a hairnet, full up to the elbow gloves, and a
dig it.
disposable apron every time. And I
And
was
your
like,
and your station should also be disposable.
yeah, your
And
whole
we can
thing- yeah,
throw
you
your
throw-
whole in this station.
Yeah. Well, with the way that Hollywood is, they just throw the tattooer out and then start over with another one because it's,
sounds
it's
about right.
fucking all garbage. But yeah, dude, I went in there and I was like, I'm not wearing that. Like, I can come tattoo here and that'll be fine.
I'll
but
wear a hairnet.
yeah, I'll wear just a hairnet if you want me to. I don't understand the use of a hairnet.
I think I
In
don't know.
tattooing,
I
like-
think I need like a swimmer's skull cap.
Yeah, that's what you should have on.
I'll wear it all day. It's,
Full-
it's a
you
doohickey,
should-
I
you
think
should
they
show
call
up to
it.
work with a wetsuit on, Nick.
Dude, I have a
That'd be perfect.
wetsuit.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm supposed
Do
to
they
go
sell
and
them
surf with
big
my
enough for you?
brother-in-law in California, but
Do they sell wetsuits?
it's
Yes,
really
they do.
cold.
For
At the generic Big and Tall store
the
that
Big
Nick
and
and
Tall
I
store.
both frequent.
Well, we're gonna put my wetsuit together with a regular wetsuit, and there's gonna be a big and tall.
That's it.
And then I'm gonna get another youth wetsuit.
Youth small wetsuit.
I'm not kidding.
Youth
it,
medium.
it really sucks dick.
Being 5'11".
Dude,
I don't.
are you
Nick, how
fucking
tall are
kidding
you?
me? You
How
are
tall
so
are you right
fucking
now?
generous. I'm
I know.
5'11".
You're not 5'11".
Okay, truth be told, I'm 5'9" and a half.
I think
not.
I think
I'm not
5'10".
even a little bit. I'm not 5'9" and a half.
This
I'm
guy is straight out of the
5'6".
Shire.
I'm 5'6" at best. Dude, my dad is fucking 5'8". I'm like, man, this is shit deal, dude. This is fucking horseshit, man. It
Because he
sucks,
knew
man.
you weren't going to be the
Yeah,
beanstalk of the
You're not a
family.
swimmer, man. Yeah, your shit's weak, man.
Oh,
It sucks,
man.
man. It sucks, but
Fucking Nick had
My
that
wife
moment at
buys me
13, He
sweatpants.
looked around the room and everybody's the same height.
yeah, like,
It's like, I'm
bruh.
fucked.
Oh,
Is this
man.
6th grade, man? Like, no, man. My wife buys me sweatpants.
Yeah.
Youth.
She does?
Youth large.
Dude, that's a
Youth large, bro, and she knows it.
The strength to say that, I love
I
it.
give no fucks, man. You know,
Good.
you know, it is what it is. Those are the cards that I was dealt. You know,
I guess you just have to tattoo faster than all of us.
yeah.
dude, I tattoo real
can,
fast,
dude.
man.
He
I
can.
tattoo. But you know. That being said, man,
I'd put you in a race against Steve Oker.
Dude, Steve
I'll
Oker's
run up against him.
Steve
He's
Oker's
tattooed up in
fast, dude.
Ocala. He knows me. I know him.
Dude,
Yeah, I know Steve.
I fucking love that
Holler
guy.
at me, man. Put your money up, dude. I'll put $1,000 up. If you're listening to this, holler at me, dude.
Dude, he's fucking cool. Like,
Hey,
full
I'm a
color-
gambling man. He knows I'm a
no,
gambling
he's a
man.
gambling man.
And I'm a fair. I'm
Dude,
good
and
sport.
you know what? Steve actually commented on the podcast.
I think he
Maybe we
tattooed
can-
my father-in-law.
Really?
Honestly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, when he turned on his fucking, what's he using, the Numa? He turned on his Numa, it sounded like coil machine was on, dude.
Well, if you don't have a cartridge
Yeah.
in there,
Crank
it
that
does.
motherfucker up, baby.
Yeah.
You can't.
shit.
The motor has a very specific
Steve
operating
knows
range.
my mentor.
really?
Steve knows my mentor.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Stephen
he got
Meese and
you
all
onto
them
those?
fools.
Yeah, him and Corey Connell was,
Mm-hmm.
or both had them, and I was running Injectus for a good long time. I still have the Nano from you.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the my V2 Old Faithful just died. R.I.P.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna get another one because I love those machines. I love the way that they run.
I really
but,
fucked up on that trade.
But the Numa is like I have the heavy brass ones. They're Heat 4 series, and
Yeah.
like they're like I have the big ones, and they're heavy. They're
Yeah.
heavy, but they're front loaded, so they don't have like in a regular
There's no
coil
back
machine.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it. They're just big as hell too. Like
You
I
using
got
those
the
like
big ones.
critical batteries or like the you're using just the
I-
cheap Amazon ones or whatever?
What do you mean?
Are you using batteries for them or are you still plugging them into your power supply?
It depends on how I feel.
Oh, really? I feel like, dude, there's a moment where I see people
This is all
doing,
new to me.
Yeah.
So
I see people
yeah.
doing like super, super good tattoos with them. And I'm like, I get it. I like that. I want to try it. I want to really give it an honest whirl. And I was using like a Bishop one. And it was like so light that I didn't like how light it was. It was like
Dude,
too light for me to use.
You need I have two of them because I originally got them as a liner and a shader.
Yeah.
And then they have how modular they are
Yeah.
and the way that you can
You can fuck with them infinitely, right?
dude, it's nuts. Like they're
I'm
like how
interested.
modular they
I'm
are.
naturally interested.
Yeah.
You know.
But,
Who's the
I want
tattooer that made
him
those?
to
Carson
Mickey
Hill.
Mouse
Carson
me
Hill?
through.
Yeah.
Carson Hill made those.
And
I've been-
I've looked up to him since I was
Yeah.
like brand new in tattooing, like because I
Yeah.
originally like was just so into Biomex. It was all like Nick Baxter, Nathan Costeco,
Yeah.
Carson Hill, Guy Atchison.
Yep.
Like those were like my idols back in the day. Like so I
Mm-hmm.
have all their books and stuff. But like watching Carson Hill, he made the original Numas, like the pneumatic machines, and then
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
same
It all
company.
makes sense now.
Yeah.
Air
Okay.
compressed.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now the Numas, like, I mean, they're not pneumatic, but
Yeah.
and admittedly, I didn't like them.
Yeah.
Originally, like I paid for them. Like they're not cheap machines, and
Cheaper than Dan Cuban.
the ones that I
Marginally.
got are about the same.
Oh, really?
They're
$1,000?
Yeah, for I got the brass, the Heat 4 series.
Yeah.
Which and that they were about $900 a piece.
Do you feel like those? I remember I was reading online that those were hitting so hard they were like blowing cartridges up.
They did.
Yeah.
With the
Love it.
with the they have the color packer, like the color packer setup. When I was using some of the it happened more often with the older Lucky's needles because they have their cartridge setups. They have their old one and their Gen 2s or whatever.
The V2 or whatever.
Yeah, the V2s.
Yeah.
And those ones don't do it, but like when I was using them and running them a little hot, which I was used to because my Injectas I'd run at like 14 volts.
Yeah.
So
Dude, and he fucking plowed that thing
Don't be
through my
scared,
stomach,
man.
dude.
Don't be scared of
Yeah.
that
yeah,
voltage,
but that machine wouldn't even turn on until 9 volts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was it running it hot? Yeah, but like it was designed to do that. This
Right.
the Numas, like their voltage range for their motors is somewhere between like 5.5 and 9, and like they're like
Not for this old dog.
no, they're like if you run it above 9, you will burn out your machine.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's
Like-
how Bishop is.
Yeah,
So
so-
Bishop,
Really?
Bishop.
They're
on
like
the,
don't run it higher than that, like you will break it. Period.
Yeah.
And like
on
when
the Packer, or the Packer and the liner, it says don't run it over 8 volts. Well, Austin worked in the same building as me,
Yeah.
and I saw him using it, and I was like, dude, I had one, and I was like, I can't line with it. It just doesn't work. I don't understand. So I used it for like 5 tattoos, and I just wasn't happy the whole time.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, what voltage are you running it at? And I was like 7. And he's like, turn it up to 9.5.
Don't be a prissy pants.
Yeah, and that's what he said. But I was like, dude, in the book it says, he's like, turn it up to 9.5 and use it. He's like, I've been using mine for like 6 months. Like, just go at it. And I started using it. It was fucking
That
rock
sounded
solid.
exactly
Never
like my
burnt out.
mentor.
You know what I mean? But
I started having problems with mine when I was running mine hot because
really?
I'm so used to doing that. Like when I talked to Steve, Steve is actually sponsored by Numa.
Oh, really?
So he was telling me, he's like, dude, you got to do this. And he told me his setup. I'm not telling it to everybody because I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But he's like, run it slower, like run it at this voltage. And it was about a volt and a half shy of what I was running it at. And he's like, it'll change your life. Like, put it on this setting, do this. Like, he kind of gave me the little fine tunes for it. And that thing shred
too much.
And then,
You've already said too much.
But that thing, but I didn't. I mean, I bought them just because I needed new machines. Like my machines were just taking a shit. Like not taking a shit, but like I was getting stagnant and I needed something to change. So I bought the new ones and I was like, I'm in it. I'm gonna try it.
isn't it funny how we do that? Like we get super comfortable with our machines and then we're like not happy anymore and we want to get new ones. I do that every 2 or 3 months with a new coil machine. I'm like, I just want a new liner.
Mine's a lot less. Like I mean, I just the idea of spending that much money on a machine, like I just don't lean into it that often. So mine's every few years.
Yours are so, I mean, and admittedly, I kind of get jealous sometimes. But well, I mean, my work is 2 machines only, like just one liner, one shader. That's it. Nothing crazy. Like you're using multiple needle groupings for some of your stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
sometimes I'll pull out like 8 of them because that's just how my brain works.
And you can because you have that machine. Like you don't need like. In my case, I just get another machine for the novelty of having it. It almost gets to a point where I'm like,
I'm a collector.
Like I see Seth comes out with a new frame style, and I'm like, oh, I want like the doorbell. I was like, I want the doorbell.
But like, what are they running those at? Like $400 or $500?
Yeah,
like it's like if you had to throw down like for all intents and purposes, if you wanted to try the new inkjective battery packed one, it's $1,200.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Like
that's
even
like that machine's awesome. I'm sure it is, but like you can't just experiment with $1,200.
No.
However,
or have a sweet collection with that.
This is the clutch. Instagram. Tattoo gear for sale.
Yeah.
No matter what. You try anything. What doesn't work for you, pay $5.
Yep. Post it up on there.
It'll be sold.
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah.
That guy's
especially
incredible.
just Burt
You know
crack
what I mean?
machines. Like, I mean, I wanted a Burt
dude.
crack so bad, and I got that one from Adam.
Yep.
And I just had a horrible experience with it, but I'm not going to bash Burt on the podcast.
I bought a
You
Burt
shouldn't.
as well.
I know,
and
yeah,
then
I would
made
never do
another
that,
trade
but-
and got another Burt.
I really just, the machine just wasn't for me, and I passed it off to Nick. And Nick enjoys it.
Second.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
his
love
second
it.
one.
Yeah. I
likes it.
resprung it. It was.
But
yeah.
you know how to use those machines.
I love them. I love the coils.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And I think it's just nice to have a good collection of. I just think they're cool because they're never going to go bad. You know what I mean?
Coil machines?
Yeah, like arguably they're never going to go bad.
Yeah.
Well, neither will a rotary really, but
My Old Faithful.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but that's like 7 years old.
Either
At
way,
least.
though,
Yeah, that's what I meant
somebody
you,
will
so-
buy
That
it.
machine.
and
But you can buy
it'll
another
sit in
one
a
and it runs the
museum.
same.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's the other thing is you can
Eventually,
have all this
you know
stuff
what
to
I mean?
show
Somebody
off later.
will buy it eventually. You know.
Yeah,
what
like
I mean?
like the jewel in my crown is I still have an old set of Aaron Canes.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, he
right.
has some mech'd out Aaron Canes.
Like I got the
Trevor
2010
bought
like
that
the,
shit, man.
I don't
Jealous,
know
man.
I don't know if they sold on eBay or whatever,
Yeah.
but I got mine super lucky. Right after I found out about Aaron Kane,
Jackpot. Just
some
like-
dude was coming through and selling machines out of a coffin style guitar like gun case.
You told me the story.
Yeah, and I just found out about Aaron Kane, and I was like, he does biomech. It's so cool.
Dude.
And so
Should've been the next level.
he came in and had just a bunch of machines. He had like some show pieces from Paul Booth and stuff. He had a cool collection.
Yeah.
All super cool, sweet.
But I ended up picking those up from him, and I ran those for probably 4 or 5 years.
I remember
Every tattoo.
I remember I first got into like machine rebuilding.
Daily
and
drivers.
you were like,
I didn't
Here
know
you
really
go.
what to do. I had Kim Albers run through him first, and he helped me out.
Kim.
Like
Yeah.
turn him into
Super
like a
nice dude.
super good black and gray shader.
yeah.
Like,
Matt,
yeah.
Kim and Will. Kim and Will.
Yep.
The hell is his Will's last? I can't.
Ralston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Great
you
fella.
asked me to fix that, or not fix it, but change it to more of a color packer, and I was just like, now I remember you showed it to me just recently when I dropped another machine off to you, and I was like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, and I fixed it there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, all right, now it's right. Like, and I handed it back to you. She's
Yeah.
like, that was every bit of like 3 or 4 years ago that
Yeah.
that I fucked with it. But it was cool that you wanted a machine for me too, and I got to drop that off, and you've actually used it.
I love that machine so much, dude. Like I like that thing. Is like just like the red that I got. Like those
Yeah.
are like I don't. No amount of if anybody on earth asked to buy them, I would tell them to piss off.
Yeah.
Period.
You don't
Always.
have enough money.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's like no. This is my friend. He built this machine. It's awesome.
That's priceless. Is that not like the coolest payoff in your heart? Truly.
Well, that's what we were talking about with Chase. It's like the coolest thing in the world is that
Right.
I made this with my hands, and then I gave it to you to make something with your hands. You know what I mean? Like I'm giving you something that you can use forever, arguably forever. If I have to fix it, I'll fix it. But like
The way that I do
Forever.
lines does I can't. You told me to run it faster. The one that you
Yeah.
actually built for me,
Mhm.
and I it's like some of the lines that like the one tattoo where I did a ton of line work with
Yeah.
it. Just like I still need to figure it out.
yeah, there's always going to be a learning
It's
curve.
different.
But I like holding on to machines like that. Like
Yeah.
going back to those Numas, like
Mhm.
and even like the machine that you gave me. Like I like getting a machine that I don't work well with.
Mhm.
Because then it makes me learn how to tattoo with that
Yes.
thing. So
Versatile.
because like when I first started tattooing, like I thought realism and biomech was like the top tier of everything. But then
It's
how
still
you tattoo
really cool.
realism and biomech or realistic styled biomech with
Karate. You want to grab me one? Of those?
with any machine, if you're gonna do like a realism piece with a ton of texture, a ton of light, ton of color, you don't tattoo that the same way you would like a Mike Chambers rose or something like. You just don't
By
at all.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
so, but I learned how to do that first, and then now I'm trying to learn how to do the traditional way. So
Right,
I'm
right,
like, so
right.
my tattooing lately has been super aggressive in that
Hard
sense.
lines, bold lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like like even like Robbie's neck and his torso, like it's like that stuff is not realism. It's not biomech. Thank you, Robbie.
Yeah,
no,
at
but-
all.
and it's also
But-
not neotrad either. That's where I argue with people like, oh, it's neotrad. It's not neotrad. Like it's neotrad, but it's not.
But
You know what I
even-
mean?
It's
but the-
traddy, but it's like touching into neo little areas. I feel, you know,
people ask me what style I tattoo in, and I just
it's
don't
so
know.
hard to even categorize that.
I just don't know. Like, I mean, like, there's some artists and like that can really simply like glom onto like one section of tattooing. It's like I do mandalas, or I do geometric work, or I do traditional.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't really still don't know how to describe what I
However,
do.
That being said, though, you understand the natural use
Getting it.
for black.
Yes.
The natural use for black, the natural use for the negative, the skin. You thoroughly understand all of that. Lower your voice, please. And I think that's exactly what separates Derek Noble from the Neo. Me personally, it's still super illustrated. He branches out with the color works. Everything is still by the book.
Well, it's definitely something like you look at Skylar's work and you know it's Skylar's work because you 100 and not to like kiss ass or anything, but like you know
It's
that
proper.
you suffered the night before drawing the fuck out of that tattoo
Or more.
or more, yeah, or 2 days or whatever the fuck
I
you
hate
did.
that fucking feeling.
But like he fucking draws every ounce of it, and like that to me when I first started tattooing, I was like, that looks like it's so much fun. Like that would be great. I want to do that. And
It's
then-
super rewarding. It's not fun.
It is. Yeah, it's rewarding is what it is. And I noticed myself trying to do that and trying to like break out. I wanted to like break out and be somebody spectacular. And I was like, I worked on that for maybe 2 or 3 months of just trying to like really grind my ass off and draw my own way. And then I was like, it just didn't do it for me. I was like, I want to just replicate in the most, how do I say it? In like the most me way possible, I want to replicate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I wanna be-
you're learning your own process
Yes.
for creating art, and there is an infinite ways to do
Mhm.
that. Infinite ways to do that.
Yeah.
And you're going to totally grow into
Oh, yeah,
yourself
for
in
sure.
the next year, the next 3 years. I
To
mean,
me,
you know,
what still gives me the most amount of satisfaction, though, is actually I read it. I think in an Andrew Loomis book.
Mhm.
It's just like the guy that does like
The Loomis
draw
method.
figure the
Yeah.
Loomis method. the way, like in the very beginning of one of his books, I think our friend Henry let me flip through it, and it was like any opportunity that you have to like recreate something without tracing it, if you don't trace it, then you are giving yourself the most opportunity to learn and to grow.
Agree. Yes.
Like if you trace it, you can be lazy.
Yes.
It's just it's a thing that mentally you like. If you have a picture and you are just tracing it, then you can do that mindlessly. Mm-hmm. But if you're aware to draw that, like if you have any of us at this table, if you had a rose in any style and told us to just do the same thing without tracing it right next to it, all of us could.
We could do that.
Yeah,
for sure. However, they'd all be different.
They would all be different, but you wouldn't learn as much about recreating it if you traced it.
For sure. Naturally.
You would have, like, because like that's why we did all that stuff, rotating like those images in space.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important to learn the actual anatomy of a flower, of a hand, of
100%. Yes.
And
then you can take
any of that stuff,
this picture and then
then you can do
simplify.
it to do whatever you want to do with it. Which I think is
agree.
Like that to me, just knowing that I know how to draw a rose or a peony or a dragon, like that's just a weapon that I have now. Like I know more about koi fish, about dragons.
I can pull
like
this out of my asshole right now.
Not necessarily putting it out of my asshole, but I can start making that style mine.
For sure. Okay. Yeah.
It's like I remember I was talking to actually Adam had a great conversation that he was opening up with a bunch of tattooers. I think we were all hanging out at Electric Gold, and Z showed up.
Oh shit!
It was dope. It was Tabernacle Tattoo on Instagram. He's a shredder. He's an incredible tattooer and an excellent human being. But he Adam was breaking down those walls of like intimacy with a bunch of these other tattooers, talking about like, would you rather draw like the same style or the same imagery over and over? Like, would you just prefer that? I don't know, it's just like a would you rather type of question. And everybody in the room was like, I'd rather stick to the same style and kind of have still like a variety of imagery to choose from. Like I want to do Japanese traditional, but I like drawing Hanyu masks and spiders and clouds and waves and like, but do it all in this kind of specific style. Z was the only one in the group. It's like, dude, I would just love to tattoo Eddie from Iron Maiden all the time. Like that is the imagery I would draw until I died, because like it's just cool. It's just this radical imagery. He could draw however he wanted. He'd learn this thing so thoroughly that he could just run, and that perspective for me kind of changed how I approach some of my art. It was a really cool conversation.
He's really smart. I met him at the right time in my tattoo career as well. He gave me like subtle, kind of slid me some shit that I'll keep to myself. He
has so much knowledge, and he's the kindest, most like he's like, just come on over anytime. Like he'd let me borrow like.
And that's just such a breath of like fresh air to like just meet some of the most like badass, but also humble, like humble, most kind, giving, like happy to like spread the knowledge and stuff. Like you don't
to the right
guys
people.
Don't own me.
He like he would not necessarily there's like right and wrong people, but when him and I met, like the way like it's like I kind of. Like I could tattoo, like I had enough credentials that he was like, "You're in, come on, get over here." Like, and it was cool, But it was like, but if some schmuck walked into his shop, he was just like, "Hey, do you want to see my library of awesome books?" He's like, "No," like he'd only bring the homies in, which I love that part of tattooing.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Not necessarily gatekeeping, however, but realizing when somebody is worth sharing that level of information.
Yeah.
And he
is
such a
If you feel that in your heart, within the energy that you come in contact, you can feel that. You know that.
You know what? You guys just sparked like a crazy thing. I was laying in bed last night and I was on TikTok, as I always am, for no reason, just staring into my phone as Emily's asleep. And I know.
Just the spiral.
He was so upset last night.
No, I was going, and there was a tattooer who I won't say their name, but they're just dropping it, and I don't know how to say this without like just calling somebody out and being shitty. So I'm going to find a way to dance around that. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to dance around it.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that we do as tattooers that I don't think belong on the internet. I think that there are ways in which we find our reference material that do not need to be put into a reel, that do not need to be put and displayed onto the world. There are ways that we create armbands that do not need to be posted on the internet for everyone else to see. And that's just one other example that I saw that I sent to you.
Kind of also gatekeeping and secrets.
But
like,
I think that there is...
we paid our dues.
But
why would I give this to everyone?
Well, not only that, I'm just saying I think that there's a certain level of you earn stuff in your tattoo career. So if you're just a regular guy who wants to tattoo for fun, you now have access to an unlimited amount of reference because of this video that I saw. Yeah. That really pissed me off because that's reference for us. That is tattooer reference. We use that. That is not for our customers. It's and again, who am I to say that this is the right? And like I hate to play devil's advocate with myself, but like I just got really frustrated because I use this reference and now it is opened up to 125,000 other people that have liked this post, and it's frustrating because now we've blown the lid off of something that we've kept to ourselves for such a long time. That's the reason why books come out and they're immediately shared with a million other people. It's just it gets really frustrating for me because it's
so
nothing is closed off anymore.
No, everything's out there.
But I liked not to have a competitive edge against anybody because you know how open I am with knowledge. Like if anybody asks, I tell them. But it was nice to have a bag of tricks that were mine, that weren't just used to gain likes on the internet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Still, but I don't really see a downside in having more information out there.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is that, like, say that some first-year tattooer sees that and is better than you.
He's not even comprehending it the way
whatever.
That we are.
Or even
who
if
cares?
They are. Even if they are.
What if they're just? What if everyone is now better because this information's out? Then that means
that's your gift back.
Fine. Did this guy did another tattooer just like bequeath this information?
Yeah.
Like how to, like we were talking about Nate Greco earlier.
He's Nate.
He's the one that showed me that trick, and I showed you.
Nate shit
He's
is
like,
awesome.
just turn it into a frowny
but
face,
you know
and then it just cleans it up. But like, if everyone knew that, then that means more people's tattoos are better.
But it was really nice to be able to show people that. Because I would have that moment.
That's not your only trick in the bag, dude.
No, I know. But that was, I have a whole bunch of them. Dude, but it was nice to show that to people.
Dude, if we were, it's like mine was just like bend from your elbow and like slurp, and then just like, and
I was so pissed.
He showed me that, and I'm just like, I'm so cool. Now everybody's got that. It's like, cool. Now this is how you do a 12 color blend over from somebody's shoulder to their ankle. Like, you know who's not putting that on Instagram? Anyone.
Well, imagine if somebody goes to the yogi seminar and then they learn how he does that because we both attended the same seminar, and then they just blast that on the internet. Like, how would that make Yogi feel? You know what I mean? Like,
it makes I
don't know. You know how many people showed up to that?
If anybody is looking to pursue a career in the tattooing industry, attend the seminars, webinars, all of that type of stuff,
and getting tattooed,
and pay the fucking money to the people who have paid their dues, and support what they're doing. And
it comes back.
It all comes back. Dude. It does, but just support the people that are way before you. Don't try and bootleg and go underneath of anybody. Just pay the respect and be appreciative. And if you are wanting to do this, get tattooed.
Yeah.
Do your research. Not by the guy who, you got $135 in your pocket. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get shit. But
I think the point that Nick's trying to get across is like,
I'm not. Yeah.
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I'll help you. I think
Thank you.
If you're looking for something, you'll find it. So if you're looking for information, you will eventually find it.
But do it the right way.
But also you will get information. Like, I mean, I'll talk about in my apprenticeship, there were times when you would tell me things that I don't tell anybody that helped me learn, but I didn't get them at the time. So you like, even if somebody watches a video,
45 out of 45,
45 out of 45, I can say that. I can say that online, and nobody will understand what I'm saying. But a 45 out of 45, and then there was, yeah. If you know, you know. But if there was a time where maybe a year and a half later, after you told me that,
stars
I was
above.
Like, whoa, dude! It all made and the fucking everything aligned, and it all made sense. And like, I guess I hate that I'm becoming this person that's like, I hate that I feel like I need to hold on to stuff like that for myself, because I want other people to get better. But there are also times where I feel like, why should I help you? You know, why should I hand you something that like my good friend showed me? You know what I mean? And everybody on the internet wants to like get up in arms and be like, oh, gatekeeping. It's like, no, this was a gift from somebody and I don't owe you shit. I don't owe the internet anything. I don't owe.
The way that I manage that exact problem is, we've talked about it even since you started tattooing and we first met, was I will answer any question you have if you ask.
Yep.
I'm not going to go out of my way. If I like, it's like the only reason why I watched you, like where I stopped you when that first tattoo that you were talking about earlier is because you were, in my opinion, you were just uneducated in what you were doing.
Yeah.
And you needed to be aware of that.
Yeah.
It's like, but I saw how hard you were working outside of your, like how much you were tattooing, but even just like it was simple, like the way that you would clean the shop, the way you show up early, stay late, clean everything up. I could tell right away you were worth investing in. That's why I chose to talk to try and help you, because one, no one else was, and I saw something special in what you were doing.
Yeah. I think that a lot
and
of...
you asked.
Yeah.
You came to me.
I was very
You're like, what is this? How do I shade a tattoo?
Yeah.
How do
I just was talking about that, that I actually physically asked you, how do you shade a tattoo?
Yeah. And that's not an uncommon question for a beginner. It's just not.
Yeah.
And you don't know how deep that answer is.
Yeah.
So I told you to put more miles on your tattoo machine.
And that was the best answer.
And you'd figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I could show you all day, but that's never going to let you know what that machine that you're using on that person with that design is going to feel like, is going to look like. So,
yeah.
I mean, and then you put in the hard work to be able to make that work. So even if we're telling secrets, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I love that more information is being put on the internet because, one, it releases all limitations from sucking. There's no reason why you should suck at all under any circumstances at tattooing. Like, all of the references are out there, all of the information's out there. But the thing, I also train jiu-jitsu, and one of my good friends, Danny, was telling me about this. Like, if you entered a competition, like for jiu-jitsu, and you said you were a purple belt and you're not, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Bow to
like
your sensei.
That, it's like they know. Oh, I'm a white belt, so whatever. So, but if I entered a competition and said that I was this much and I wasn't, everyone would know. It would not matter. In tattooing, it's not different. So if I could have all the tools, all the stuff. But at the end of the day, even with all the information that's on the internet, if I suck at tattooing, I suck at tattooing.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to know that. And and all the like the gatekeeping stuff that we're talking about, like people putting on like the trick to make bands line up.
Yeah.
If more people know that,
Trevor's so rowdy.
Dude,
I love that dude.
Bow to your sensei.
So much.
But you know, I was thinking about
Does that
this
make
too.
sense though?
No, it makes perfect sense. And you know, I find myself kind of contradicting myself often with that, because I think one of the most beautiful things are you can get a machine now from anyone because of the internet.
Yeah, I had to find special places that would sell to
Exactly.
just like I had to find places that didn't give a shit,
Yes.
so I could get one.
And I think that sometimes I get so frustrated, but I think it's great that like I saw Austin using a Bishop liner, and then I could just go on Kingpin and buy a Bishop liner. I know that Nick liked or Trevor or somebody has a Midtown machine. I can go buy a Midtown machine. It's not like in the 90s where you couldn't.
Troy. I want one.
You should get one from Troy.
I want
Troy's
one.
machines
I
are really
do
good.
want one.
When I was getting tattooed by Curtis, he was using he was using Josh Ford's and Aaron Kane's
So
to
sick.
tattoo.
Dude.
And like, to me, when I was getting
Or
tattooed
Lucas
by him, he did my
Ford,
whole
dude.
torso with them, and it was just the sickest shit. But that created the mystery of the tattooing, because
For sure.
I don't know what kind of machines he's using. I don't know how
Right,
he's setting
yeah,
up. I don't
you
know what
have
voltage
nothing.
he's using. I don't like
What you using
he's
there,
tattooing
man?
my neck and my
Yeah.
torso, so I'm like, I can't like sit
Yeah,
there and
yeah,
look
yeah,
yeah.
like. You just can't. You have to stay open.
Yeah.
So like I like the mystery of the kind of tattooing that you're doing, assuming that you're like, yeah, just run your machine at 14.5
Yeah.
and set it to a nickel depth that's like
Neato mosquito,
Heck
man.
yeah,
Thanks
yeah, like
for
every
that.
like all like
Fucking-
textbook.
Yeah.
the thing is that like all of the new people at tattooing, they're like, yeah, can they put on a band perfectly
are you,
straight?
goober?
Are they running their cam machine at 14 volts? Yes, they are. Like it's like
Blowout
dude,
City.
we've been tattooing you've been tattooing like 12, 13 years.
You're
pretty
the
close.
Same as you.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
So,
13 years.
Yeah, so you're not gonna make that mistake. You're like, who
Yeah.
cares that all the
Right.
information's out there? You know
Yeah.
what you don't have? All of the information. So whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're trying to keep your leg up, we all still have it.
Yeah.
We are
Well,
professional
also
tattooers.
the leg up too is working harder than a lot of people. I mean, you can
For sure.
easily.
You
I mean,
work so
not,
hard,
Not
dude.
to, but
It's
yeah,
nuts.
He
yeah.
does.
But I see
He
other
does.
people that work way harder than me. Like I aspire to be more like Cody Martin, who just is
Dude, Cody's
always
so
working.
solid.
Like I don't draw as much as I'd like to draw. I should draw more outside of work, but then I take on projects like this. So then I don't have as much time, and I feel like my artwork is suffering. Not suffering, because I'm still tattooing at the same level, but I don't really feel like I'm able to spring forward because I'm spending time doing stuff like this. But this is very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like this is
It
very,
is.
This
very
fills
It
your
really
cup,
is.
and
Yeah.
that's important.
And I think that also I'm kind of happy where I am without sounding like I'm.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, like I'm happy, you know. And
You know what? I bet Aaron Kane is stoked to grind out tattoo machines
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
day in and day
Yeah,
out. It's like,
dude.
you know what I don't
Yeah.
want to do? Tattoo. You
Yeah.
know what I want to sculpt? Biomech tat pistols.
Well, that was like I went and hung out with Seth, and I was like, "Yeah, man, next time I come back, I want to get tattooed by you." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "I build machines now. Like I work on my BMW now. Like I don't fucking
Yeah.
tattoo." And
You
he's
know
like,
what
"I
I
will
mean?
tattoo you,
Yeah,
but
and that's a
this
bummer.
is what I
dude.
do."
It
You
is
know,
a bummer. You
yeah,
know?
but I mean, I
it's
also
like
it's-
machine builders.
But
Tattoos
but the
suck,
thing is
you
that
know,
like I mean
you know?
if all three of us quit tattooing right now to go do something that made us genuinely happy in our life, I would not be bummed out about that for any one of us.
yeah, I mean,
I agree with
I think
that.
that
Don't get me wrong, I love tattooing.
Yeah.
It's
I
the,
love
it's
it.
the sickest
Yeah,
stuff in the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
But if say that when I'm 60, that's 25 years from now.
I don't want to be tattooing forever. Let me be
well,
the
but
first to say that.
but when fine. I hope my body's gonna give out at some point.
100%. My hands
Z
are
told me
halfway
we're only
there.
gonna get so good at this.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
there's just a
I
limit.
was real good. Our body's gonna give out.
Well, I was
you know
told
what
that
I
there's
mean?
there's
Something.
like a fine point where it's like, all right, it's time to stop now.
Yep.
You've gotten there.
Yeah.
You've reached your apex. You're on your way down. It's time.
And that
it's
was
time to
my
hang it up.
backup plan.
You know what I mean?
With
Or
machine
not,
building.
Or
like,
don't,
it's
or
like, but
ride
if you
it
still,
out, dude.
if you still love tattooing, fine. But
Yeah.
but if all,
you
like,
wanna
say you
do
wanted to
it,
stop
do
being
it.
be a motivational speaker, and
Yeah.
that brought you joy now, go do it. That'd
Yeah.
be great. I'm sure that you'd probably use that to help tattooing.
Yeah, I just think.
But that being said, though, as well, though, we build machines.
Yeah,
That's my backup plan.
that's my backup.
I
plan
love
as well.
this, though. I do. As foreign and far-fetched as this all is to me personally, we all wanted to give back. What?
Well, the best part about this, no, I had an idea, and I
Oh,
didn't mean
go.
to signal you,
Yeah,
but
no, go. Yeah.
I felt the same way I did when I set up my first machine to tattoo the second we pressed record on this to do
Really?
our first podcast in the back room.
You're
I was like,
sweating?
yeah, I was like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know
That's good.
what, but we
Like-
literally just ordered everything and we sat down and we were like, okay, bink, record. Now we're doing a podcast. What is a podcast?
Would you not-
I don't even know.
Nick had never listened to a
never
podcast
listened
when
to
we
a
started
single
this.
podcast.
That's
Never.
so sick.
on my mother.
But and
What
I,
if you guys can retire because of this?
Well, I mean,
You
who
know,
knows?
I mean, who knows?
I know.
Yeah.
How dope is
Who
that?
fucking knows?
What if you
I
guys
just always
both stop
wanted to give
tattooing?
back.
To talk about
I always
tattoos.
To
wanted
talk
to
about to talk about tats. You're like, yeah, I remember when I used to do Friday the 13th events. Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah,
what is
right.
that like?
Is that like?
Also, would you like to buy one of my paint? You would, great. You just want to
You need a
trade?
liner,
That's fine.
son.
Yeah,
You need a
whatever.
liner, little guy.
Brian, stop being annoying. Like
Yeah,
it's like,
shut up.
Yeah, like.
But you know,
No,
Like,
I
mean,
what if you got like what if this took you all the way to like hanging out with like I just listed a couple but like
Dude,
the greats in tattooing
well, like
currently.
I feel like we're already
what would
making.
you do? Karate.
I'd be fucking pumped, dude. I'd fly to.
No,
I'd fly
what
to
would
San
you
Francisco.
do?
What would I
you
do
for the industry?
for the industry?
Personally, say, I mean, figuratively.
If I had to pick one thing
if we
to
were
do,
paid $1 million bucks.
What would I do
tomorrow.
for
to
tattooing?
do this?
What would we do?
Oh,
What would you do?
I know what I would do. I'd get us a machine shop, so we could actually work on. So we could actually work on machines.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're so limited with what we're able to do right now.
We're super limited.
And I think,
But I like it
we're
that
making
way.
a good machine though.
I like it that way.
I can make
I
a
like
good machine
being
in that back
limited,
room,
you
but
know?
it's not.
I love my hand tools and stuff, and
yeah, I can make a good machine in the back room, but it's not as nice as I'd like it. I'd like to have a mill. That'd be super cool. But anyway, we're talking about machine building, and that's not.
Well,
not
no,
what
we're
doing
talking
today.
about
You guys aren't like revealing any secrets. You're just talking about how cool machine building is.
Yeah, super sick. And also, if you missed the advertisement on our last podcast, I'm going to do a quick 1 hour and 20-minute ad where
on schedule,
perfect timing. Machine Co. on Instagram is a company that Seth Safari is partnering with to do a build yourself a machine type gig where you can learn how to build your own frame out of stuff that you have laying around in your workshop.
hand tools.
And with regular hand tools and a drill. The course is like $400. I know that sounds like a whole lot of money, and
It's
it sounds
really
like
not.
a big thing. Yeah, I highly recommend if you're interested in
4
machine
decades
building,
of fucking knowledge.
Yeah.
It's really not that much money.
And if you're interested, I highly recommend signing up for this. This is not a paid advertisement, so there's not a
and
coupon
if you
code.
don't know Seth Safari,
Check
you're
out Seth.
fucking tripping.
Yeah.
And
I highly
Workhorse
recommend
Irons,
checking him out.
Go
And,
enhance your tattoo knowledge.
And there's also other courses on there if you're not if you're not super into machine building and you want to learn how to tune your coil machines. There are other courses as well for tuning your liners and shaders that you can sign up for. I think they're super affordable. I think that they cost the same amount of money as buying a machine.
Sure.
So, you know,
a single machine.
why not buy the course instead of buying a whole new machine because it broke? You know what I mean?
And fix all
And
10 of your
fix
machines that are
all of
sitting in
them.
your drawer. Bobby.
Yeah, right. Dude, I have a lot of machines in my drawer
I
right
gotta
now.
say, man,
Dude.
I'm more proud of you for the time, the amount of time that you've been tattooing yourself personally from my aspect, man.
Yeah.
The
I thought you were going to talk about how I store my machines in my drawer.
Yeah, that's not the coolest thing, and I'm not going to talk about that right now by any
When they
means,
break,
'cause
when
it's
you shake your
disgusting and
top
it's
row.
atrocious.
Yeah, when you shake it,
And,
you're like, oh, the contact screw moved. I got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
let me
whatever.
I was
Let me.
sand
telling-
this down.
That $400 course sure came in handy.
I was telling Skylar, I was like, when they start running like shit, I put them all in one drawer and I just shake it real
And then
fucking
you
good.
did shake it
I
up.
did it.
And I'm just gonna hit this thing with a hammer,
Oh,
a fucking
man.
handle
You
of a
shake it up a
flathead
little bit. They
screwdriver,
start
yeah.
running a little bit better.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
um,
it's just like, was it like, I remember hearing like a story from Grime where he's using like the old like Spalding needles or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't run well until you, and then he just like ground it against like
Yep.
the steel table and like probably hooked them all. It's like, they're not good until you do this.
Spread them out. Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
You got to dull them up a bit.
Yeah.
No one likes extra long tapers.
No, fuck that.
Goobers.
I like them as dull as possible. Oh, man.
I use railroad spikes.
That's it.
I light almost all
Yeah,
of my.
Nick sparks every liner.
I light almost
What?
every.
He sparks
I
every single
put
one.
flame to. If you
Every
don't know,
single-
you know.
No, sparking.
Almost
Yeah,
every
yeah.
one.
I just,
light every-
it's like you're using like tat lingo, and
No,
I was just
no.
like, wait, you mean like with
flame to
with
that,
the lighter.
baby.
Yeah, with the lighter.
I didn't know
Put
that you wanted to.
flame on that shit.
Yeah, dude, you got to
No,
sterilize
no.
it. I still tell. when
Dude, I swear to
I've done
God, I
that.
think that when I'm doing that shit,
Dude,
do my
know what you need
setups
to do?
in front of people. They're like,
Lean into it. Lean into it and tell them you're sterilizing it.
It's so
no,
sick.
Dude,
they
no,
already
it's so
think
great.
that.
No,
No,
it's
that's
so
the
great.
last thing that I want.
It's so
Tell
great.
everyone.
I lean
They're
right
like,
into
are
it.
you sterilizing that? Like,
information-
oh my God, no, you.
This
fucking
is how we
maniac.
gatekeep now.
Yeah, this is how we do it. I just tell everybody the wrong shit, just like Jerry did. Yeah, use
Dude,
a
I
use
got
a. What did
told
you
so
say?
much
A three liner and a
A
15
tight
mag?
3 and a 15 mag with no rubber band,
That's
baby.
it.
Get it out.
If you're trying to shade
Dude,
it,
you're
yeah.
trying to do one of those little like super soft like cholo clowned out like lady faces. Dude, just put a super tight 3, hit it with a lighter, put it in a 15 mag tube,
When in
and your
doubt,
Dan
take the
Cuban.
rubber band
set
out.
the throw as hard as you can, and then just like and then run,
Things like-
dude, and run that machine at like 11 and a half, and that is just butter.
Oh,
it is
man.
just the
We
sickest.
actually used
if
to
it
do that
spits,
shit
it
at
means you're doing a good
conventions.
job.
And,
Yeah, it spits if you're doing it. If it's spitting, you're doing it right.
I did hear like his video. It's open source, so he's
Yeah.
talking about the way to get his machines to stop spitting so much
Yeah.
is to put the needles in upside down.
Yeah, I started doing that.
And
It works.
That is so
No,
against.
it works.
That's
No, it
so
works
against
so
the-
great.
that's
But if you
against
think, about
against the
it,
grain.
if you think
No,
about
it's not.
it, no, it's not because
Dude,
you're
dude,
bending
you're
the
just
needle.
sleeping in it.
Yeah, you're sleeping, Nick. You need to wake up.
fucking,
But-
why did we invite you?
Yeah, come on, Nick. be more progressive on your own podcast. Christ.
Oh man, it hurts my heart.
No, but
the thing is that like there's no rules for any of this shit.
I do that exact thing that what you were just saying.
You put a needle in upside down?
Speak louder in the mic. Speak louder in the mic.
With tight 3s and tight 5s.
What?
You hit him with a
Put
lighter?
him upside down?
No, I put them on it upside down.
You put him upside down?
Upside down.
No, the thing is, dude, if you gave this to, if you told a first year tattooer to put it upside down, they're gonna bend it wrong. Fucking whatever.
They're gonna bend it wrong. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Fucking mags upside down too.
Yeah, put your mags upside down,
It's
bend
just
it
clipping,
at
dude.
90-degree angles
the
with
tooth.
pliers.
I remember the first time somebody told me to put my liner in upside down. I was like, the eye loop? Just as a joke. And they were like, no, you fucking idiot.
Not backwards, upside down, you
Fuck me, man.
jack
Oh,
off.
man.
Yeah, so even if we're sharing some of this information,
Yeah.
you have to know something before it even matters.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like,
Sure,
everybody's
I know.
using cartridges anyway. Put your cartridge in upside down.
Yeah.
You know, that being
Do
said,
you remember the day we took them apart so you could spark them, though?
Yeah.
Remember that day? That was so
dude,
great.
Even better.
put
What's
fi-
that? You
you
can
put
spark them
flame
without
to the-
taking them
to the
apart.
cartridge?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
Drop some knowledge.
No,
dude.
this
Who
is
cares?
like I just put
in this card.
Yeah.
push it all the way out, but then just don't spark it and leave it. Like spark and just kind of hit it, like let it warm
it.
up, because otherwise you'll melt the very very end of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
plastic tube. But before you actually put them in your machine, just press that needle out as far as it'll go, and then you can still hit it. And as long as you do it kind of slowly, you can still get it without dismantling it. Put it right back in.
Do the V2 Luckies ones pop out the back like the old ones used to?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
just pop it
I don't
out.
have fingernails in
Oh,
that
yeah.
way, so
Yeah.
and I'm not about to put gloves on and get a knife and
use my teeth. Just put it in my mouth and pull it out.
yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, I've only done that a couple of times, and admittedly, like it's one cartridge. It's what,
Yeah.
$3?
Yeah.
So I was doing it probably with a 9 or an 11 or
expensive,
something
though,
like
now,
that.
dang it.
Yeah. Well, but say that you
It's really
but,
not.
12 years
But-
ago, though, it wasn't.
but
now,
yeah, 3 in today's money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
today's
So-
money.
But with those, like I was like running like a 9 or an 11 or something like that, and I wanted to try it, so I
Yeah.
did. And like the first time I did it, I just burnt the shit out of the end of the tube, melted the ever loving hell out of it.
Yeah. Just
So I was
fucked
like,
it up.
well, that didn't work. So I just tried it again, and I just did it a little slower, and I maintained the end of the tip, or the tube, and it was just fine. You
Yeah.
I mean, you could take it out if you wanted to, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I remember. I remember I started using Josh
Figure it out,
Bauer's
losers.
steel driver for a while, and I really, really, really enjoyed that machine with cartridges. There's very few machines that I feel like can do what I want to do tattoo wise. That's not a pen. You know what I mean? Like the Josh Bauer's machine kind of does. It's snappy. It feels like, you know, using my regular coil machines, and I'm okay with that. Or like the DMC or the Dan Cuban, whatever the fucks. Those all work great with
I'm really
cartridges, too.
interested in the pens. I really am, and that hurts me to say.
No, I think they're great,
Why,
dude.
dude?
No, I think they're great.
Well, no, you know, I'm just want to, you know, I don't know, so,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It
Okay.
takes some of the mystery out because when
I would
say
imagine
that
so.
you pick any rotary machine out there,
I've had
they're
them all.
pretty consistent. They
I've
just
had
are.
them all.
So
Yeah.
I remember being at Josh Hartman's seminar, and he's talking about how he uses Cheyenne pen, and he's like, yeah, if something happens to it, I mean, somebody steals it, I drop it, it breaks, I buy another one, and it runs exactly the same all the time.
Right.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I think for
I
learning
like
how
that.
to tattoo,
Consistency.
rotaries are doing some amazing things for
Yes.
art, because
Sure.
what they're doing is they're taking the kids that are new at tattooing and removing a lot of those variables of tattooing. So
Right.
they get to focus on the application, they get to focus on design. It's why that, like, while I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram, whenever I see somebody who's only been tattooing a few years and they're just crushing it, It's because they didn't have to worry about what kind of skin are you tattooing, what kind of needles are you using, what kind of machine is it, what happened to the spring.
And now these cocksuckers are going to figure out where and when you get blowouts on shitty ass skin and collarbones and stuff.
Immediately, because that stuff's so consistent.
Yes.
Which I think is awesome.
I appreciate that.
Well, also, as somebody who learned how to tattoo on a rotary machine, because I am a product of that, you do learn that straight away. I blew out lines straight away.
That terrifies me.
It's so scary. But
I'd rather be too shallow.
But you know what's great? But you know what's great though is I blew those lines out. I overworked that skin. I did all those things that were wrong straight away. But now when I have a coil machine, I know what I want it to do.
Mm-hmm. And what it looks like when it's right.
Yes. Like I can get it right where I want it to.
You feel it in your fucking fingers.
Well, also for me, I hear it. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that gets me the most is like, I feel like it's a very big guessing game aside from the way you feel it with your left hand and your stretch hand. Like when you can audibly feel that you're burying an 11-round liner in the right spot, that is a symphony. Like when it happens in here and we're all outlining at the same time, and you hear us all hit that fucking sweet spot, that's what does it for me. You know what I mean? And that's really why I use them. Like, and you can't really get that in an environment where you're, and again, it doesn't matter. That's all just like an aesthetics thing.
I don't get the symphony, but like I run in the Numas right now. So when after the info about running them at the right speed, and once I kind of know what how my machine is set up, it still takes some finesse to be able to make that thing do what it's supposed to. Yeah. And because we were talking about it a little bit earlier when I was running those Numas at I was running at 7 or 8 volts because I was just used to running them fast, and they just weren't doing it. Mm-hmm. And then my friend Steve told me it's like, no, try these voltages, and just voltages instant difference.
But also a lot of the times too, though, a lot of people who haven't used a pen before, like yourself, you think that it's just plug and play, where you just slap a needle in there and you could tattoo.
From my end,
and that's what a lot of people think that. Yes. And it's like there are still slight variables that come along with using a rotary machine. There are just far less moving parts than there are. Well, there's just as many moving parts, but far less adjustments that can be made for a rotary pen as opposed to
if you needed if your spring on either one, the
front or rear
does not matter. If any one of them, if Mercury's in retrograde, your tattoo's coming out different.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Some days, if it's raining too hard outside, dog, my machine is not running right.
But it's you guys know how to.
We're gonna have to reschedule.
So who cares?
Just a reschedule.
Oh man, I have to go to the bathroom, so we're gonna take a little break.
Go pee.
No, but I have to tell this story first.
Go.
Is when I was before I made it into a shop. After I got kicked out of my apprenticeship, I'm tattooing in Denver. I go to this guy's house, and he wants a Denver skyline across his whole chest. And then it goes into tribal, not my best design.
Sick.
Don't worry about it. If I ever find the design, I'm not.
Send it to me.
If I ever find the design, I'm lighting it on fire.
I'm gonna curl it.
Anyway, go to this guy's house, and my machine just start I'm wiping my stencil away because I don't know how to keep it.
Yeah.
I'm drawing it on back on there in Sharpie because that's the only thing I can do. I'm alone. I'm unsupervised. I am not skilled at tattooing at all.
I'm running it. Yeah. I'm all in.
And what happened was the tube vices where they have the little circular
call it
little sleeve.
Yeah. But then you put the tube in there and then the actual you tighten that. I did.
Guillotine.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, guillotine.
Okay.
Yes.
I tightened it too much with no tube in there, so that the guillotine part. The guillotine part. I smashed it. So I only had one machine, so it was liner and shader, and I'm running plastic tubes. So I'm having and because that little part of that is smashed, I have to grind it in there. Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty.
And I didn't have the knowledge to know about the return on the spring.
Yes.
And I was floating my liners at the time. Mm-hmm. So what was happening was I was catching this guy's skin about every 10 seconds.
Oh fuck.
In where it was just where it the skin would come up, it wouldn't retract.
Yeah.
So I was just destroying this one area. And I had no idea what was going on with my machine. And I was just like, we got to take a little break, whatever. It's like, and I'm just sweating bullets. No one's there to help me. Like, I'm in a sketchy part of Denver in this person's house that I've never met before.
And I can't think of this shit.
And I'm just like, remember when you were throwing up and like sweating, tattooing? Now imagine doing that in a sketchy part of a town that you don't live in with no one to help you. So I'm sitting there tattooing this dude's chest, and I'm just like, oh, it's fine. It just does this sometimes. It just overheats and explodes. It's fine. Let's take a break. And then like now just adjust my tube and unscrew that contact screw, and I'm right where I need to go.
Yeah.
100%.
But no one was there to help me figure that out.
Right.
That same problem happens with rotary machines. If you don't know how to adjust depth, if you don't know how to adjust your speed, how to make that work, like what that machine, what your stroke length is, you have to know so many other things to get it to work.
Lining.
So it's not a cheat code to have a rotary.
So also the reason you have that nano is because of that. I kept catching the skin with it, and I thought it was at the time. I mean, that was I don't know.
Why
how many
would you
years
know?
Ago. Yeah,
how would you know?
I didn't know. So I was like, this machine has the wrong cam on it. It's fucked up. I don't know what the fuck deal. I was like, Skylar, do you want this? I'll trade you for a tattoo session for it. Whoop, take it. I don't want to deal with it. And that was it. But if now.
I would give that same machine back to you because I love you.
But that's not what that's not what I'm asking for, because I probably wouldn't use it because I don't even have cartridges. But what I'm saying is, like, now going back to that moment, I can tell myself what I'm doing wrong. You know what I mean? I know now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think
and no matter how much information is on the internet, you still earned getting it.
Oh yeah. Well, and also at that time, I could have just asked, but I felt like I was too far along in tattooing to ask such a stupid question. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that was also the environment that we were in, which we're not going to touch on. Well, but like that space just really wasn't for that. It was kind of like, oh, well, you know, do your tat.
But the thing is that if you ran into that same problem now and you talk to Nick or Trevor or me or any of your tat friends, like, you're like, hey, I keep catching the skin. What's going on? Mm-hmm. Like, you are vetted.
100% of people are going to answer
You're
the
in.
question.
It's like, you know what's not going to happen? You're not going to tattoo or ask like Mike Stockings or whatever. He's doing all the Procreate tutorials and stuff. You're like, hey, I keep catching my needles. Why would he help you?
Yeah. He has
Who
no
would
need
care?
to.
There's no reason. Like,
I just,
Dan Cuban's like, put some more miles on your tattoo machines.
I really like how he draws with the little circle and the cross. Is that Mike Stockings? He does like the circle and then like the radial lines. We'll talk about it later.
I don't know. I just found out about him because I'm finally learning to use Procreate.
Yeah, he has a lot of great tutorials.
Yeah, which is the reason why which is why I'm following. Actually, one of my coworkers told me about him.
Oddly enough, I'm trying to get Trevor on the iPad. I'm going to get him on an iPad when I get the new one.
Listen, this has been my goal.
Yeah. Trevor needs to get on an iPad. He's so proficient with paper. It's bananas that motherfucker, not to talk about Trevor off his episode.
He's too efficient.
He's too effortless with paper that I feel like it would be ruining his tattoo abilities to use an iPad. Like, he's so good at paper.
To an extent.
All the guys at the shop, because I've been drawing digitally. We talked about it actually last time I was here, but I've been drawing on the Wacom, which I actually have in my backpack if you want to check it out.
Yeah, they're super sweet.
It's cool. But I've been drawing the Wacom since I started tattooing. That's where I have all of my tattoo drawings on my computer from day one. I have all of them.
That's crazy.
Which is an excellent thing about digital work. You don't lose those giant things. Rats don't eat it.
Yeah.
right.
So but moving over to the iPad, all the cats at work that draw on iPads, like I'm just asking them, like, how do you merge layers? How do you do stuff? Like, because like I know how to do it in Photoshop. I know how to do it with keyboard shortcuts. I'm using two different programs to print, design. Like, like I'm using a completely different setup that does the same thing.
Yes.
But I just want, like, it's like, all right, like all my programs are just more expensive, but they're not necessarily more functional.
And they're not better.
They're not. They're just as good. They're just different. Yeah.
If you were a digital animator, it'd be a different story. You know what I mean? But you're not.
But like, but I'm like, now with the advent of Procreate and at $13 and you can have everything. Like all the cats at work are like, yeah, Skylar's just gonna be light speed away from
Yeah.
us. Like,
You're just gonna fucking blow
it's
the
like
fuck
now
up,
he
dude.
doesn't have to draw circles by hand anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's like look at how much time he's going to save.
Yep.
Like it's like
Yeah.
it's just going to be this meteoric rise.
Get scared,
I think Trevor
motherfuckers.
would experience the same thing.
He-
He would
he-
just
yeah,
he would learn
absolutely.
those tools and then just explode.
Yeah, 100%.
He's just so old school.
I
yeah.
really like the camaraderie that comes along with Procreate a little bit too. Like it's kind of douchey sometimes, but I think it's nice that people are
It
like,
is a little
"Hey,
douchey.
it's kind of douchey."
I'll give you that,
But
yeah.
I like the hey dude, you got that snake set? I got this
Yeah,
rose
yeah,
set.
let-
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And not that I'm
Turn
into
your-
I'm
turn
into
your
shit.
air-
Yeah. I'm not
turn your
into like
airdrop on.
I'm not into pirating shit from people, but like I really think
No,
it's cool.
but,
I think it's
you
cool to
know.
share. Like I really like that Chase. I mean, all the places that Chase had gone. Not to put Chase on blast, but like he shared a book with me that he had
Yeah,
gotten from somebody
for
else. You know what I
sure,
mean?
yeah.
And I think it's cool, like to
Well, you
have
know-
that ability to carry around. I mean, I have all my books on my bookshelf, but like have the ability to carry all that around in like a 12-inch iPad is
100%.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like
I
I have
don't
clients
got a-
come through and
a
they just
case
flip
of
through.
markers.
Yeah, they just
I don't
flip
gotta-
through.
Yeah, I
you
don't
know?
have any of that. You know?
Yeah, I think it's nice. And
But
and-
also too, you know, as far as the tattooer thing, you know, it's not. We don't just like, oh, you tattoo, sweet. Turn your airdrop on.
yeah, of course, it's not. It's just
Throw
like
it to
everything else.
everybody.
Yeah,
You know, and Chase as well. Though,
Yeah.
you know, if Chase gave that to you,
that means he gives a shit.
he 100% supports you.
Yeah.
and he felt you were worthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
talking
mean?
about like
Does that
sharing
make
brush
sense?
sets.
Yeah,
and
like sharing
stuff.
brush sets
Yeah,
and sharing
yeah, he
sharing
does
Preston
books.
did that
you
shit
know.
to me. He's the nicest
Yeah,
dude.
Preston threw me one too. I was like, dude, fuck,
that's
man,
like-
thank you.
Like if
You earned that.
anybody gets in with Preston,
Dude.
like just be prepared to be treated like a gentleman. The
Preston
whole
and
night.
Dina, tightest couple ever.
They're
So,
so sick.
cool,
Yeah.
so nice. Yeah, they actually. I think it's great when Preston's like, I want to go bowling with you. I'm like, duh, Preston, come fucking go bowling with me. Like, I don't know.
He like I don't know. It's like you know you want to do some not tattoo stuff
yeah,
and still be friends.
I
yeah.
love doing not tattoo stuff.
Yeah,
now.
for sure. With the
Man.
people that I tattoo with every
Yeah.
day, absolutely. Yeah, me and Trevor get real weird.
Yeah, real weird.
All right.
I ain't gonna let
All right.
y'all know.
All right. Well, I know you said you're not gonna, but you
Well,
should.
you
how
know,
about
I
how
mean-
about one glimpse?
One glimpse.
Yeah, like tell us a fun story between you and Trevor.
Oh fuck, man. Oh fuck.
Don't tell the wedding story.
What-
you already
the
told
one
that
you're
No,
thinking,
yeah,
the
no,
one you're
no.
thinking about right now, whatever it is.
It's
I don't
in my
know.
mind. It's already there,
There-
man.
that one.
So
That one, please. You're getting all shy.
no, yeah, no. I'm worried about Trevor. Really.
Will this legally put anybody in trouble?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Then
not
you're good.
legally.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
I
good.
don't think
We got
so.
him,
I
guys.
don't know.
We got him-
Humane
we got him,
Society
boys.
maybe or
I've been playing the long game. I actually work with the FBI.
Trevor's actually a dog trainer.
Really?
No, he's not.
Oh.
Not even a little bit. So
Like
he
the
had a
bounty
dog,
hunter.
Zeus,
The
and
bounty hunter.
he deeply misses that dog. It was from his last girlfriend and stuff, and it's got on a true story, man. And I remember when he was telling me this. I wasn't there for this. I got this story secondhanded, and thank God he got rid of that bitch. But he had a dog, and this little bastard in his backyard lifted up his leg right next to him, pissed right down on his leg. God honest, it's a true story. Like I said, this is secondhanded. And I can never tell it the way that Trevor would ever fucking tell it. Trevor is so fucking infuriated. He yanked his fucking dog up, yanked it into the fucking house, tossed it this fucking dickhead fucking. He was a puppy. He was a puppy. Tossed it in this fucking tub. I pulled his fucking dick out, pissed on his fucking pissed off. Dog trainer.
Absolute dog trainer.
Listen, that dog never fucked with Trevor
Ever again.
And he misses that dog, and that dog misses him, and I believe that 110%.
You know what? That happened one time, and that was enough for both of them to realize, like,
You
it's
know
like,
what?
all right, this is
All
like,
right, you cross that line, I'm crossing that line. Now let's never cross this line ever fucking again. and I tell that story like a 16th, and when Trevor told me this, he's told me this shit like 4 times. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I remember. I still piss in my pants. And that is Trevor
That's so
doing
great.
not tattoo shit. And yeah.
Trevor, I remember
you know what I mean? I'm pissing in my
I got a good
pants.
Trevor story. We all went charter fishing. And it was me, Nick, and Trevor.
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah.
I went charter fishing for a whole day. The day before, I was going to get my neck tattooed by Chaz. So I was wearing like one of those gaiters, covering my whole face so I wouldn't get my neck sunburnt.
We were not doing
We're like out on
drugs.
the boat. No, there were no drugs involved. And so Trevor's driving down,
Nice.
and then we all, had a few drinks or whatever, and I stayed sober. 'Cause
Cocktails.
I had to get tattooed the next day, so I didn't want to like be sunburnt and hungover for my tattoo appointment on my neck.
That's horrible.
And then
You're super
I was actually being
responsible.
nice and responsible. But Trevor on the way back was like, we were talking about something, I can't remember what it was, but he's like, yeah, dude, I just fall asleep while driving all the time.
All the time.
No,
he absolutely
And he's
does.
like, it just happens. I just wake up sometimes and I'm hitting the rumble strips. So we're
Like,
driving.
dude, yeah.
We're driving and we're coming up from Naples, and I notice we stood. I'm
So
on my
Robbie
phone.
drives
I'm
the
on my
rest of
phone.
the way
Hold on. I'm on my phone and I'm just going through Instagram or whatever, and
You're like,
the
I
truck-
trust Trevor.
Yeah, and the truck just starts going on the side of the fucking road, and I look over at Trevor and he's like this,
yeah, dude.
and I was like, "Yo, buddy, you might want to pull over at the next
Dude,
exit,
that
man. I'll
fool-
drive us the rest of the way."
He can take a nap wherever, anywhere.
Oh man, it was fucking incredible.
That's rain.
Oh, that's rain.
I used to do that. I used to fall asleep I've fallen asleep tattooing.
Really?
Have you guys
Tell
fallen
that
asleep
story.
tattooing?
I've never
No.
fallen asleep tattooing.
Yeah,
Never.
I mean, same setup.
Now you're a veteran.
Yeah,
If
you're a
you didn't
veteran
think
when
you
you
were a
fall
veteran
asleep
before,
tattooing.
now you're a
Not
veteran.
for like a long. I mean, it wasn't like asleep for like 20 minutes and then oh shit, there's a rose.
Whoa, fuck. Yeah.
That'd be so-
Hell
that'd
yeah.
be so sick.
That's
Like,
really cool,
That is
though.
a perfectly straight finger band. I
Yeah,
just
right?
did.
Wow.
That's not
Good
how
thing,
because
because I was dreaming about this all last night.
Right?
That's
No,
insane.
like usually it's just when I stayed up too late, got up too early. Like I put a lot of myself into a tattoo and did it sometimes when you have to make yourself be artistic.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I have to draw a skull inside of an hourglass as a gap filler, also a cover up.
You're not
like,
fitting right.
I want to die.
So, but either way, like I would get that. I would be tattooing and just realize that I was burnt out or just tired.
Yeah.
And I wasn't great at like managing my time.
Mhm.
Like it's when I was working 12-hour days and like
Oof.
walk-in shops and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like where I'm there like 10 to 10 or a fucking noon to
Yeah,
10.
I remember those days, dude.
It's rough, but like, and
Adios.
then I don't know. I'm getting older, so some of the days where I'm just tattooing, and anyway, I'll be tattooing, and then like I'll just like
oh, you
it's-
do
it-
like the desk
it's-
jump, the high school,
Yeah,
the high
like-
school. Whoa.
Whoa!
Dude, I used to do that when I would skateboard all the time. I'd fall down, like I'd land and do this, and slip
Yeah,
out.
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
like I just feel like I just short circuited for a
Fuck,
minute.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah,
it's
so
like the
it's-
feeling of falling.
It
Frankenstein.
happened a lot when I worked in Bradenton.
Really?
That was probably the most that it's ever happened in my career.
Bradenton sucks,
Dude, I
dick.
remember.
Well, but it was but at that time in my life, I was working there a lot, like longer hours, and then it was an hour drive for me to get there and an hour drive
That's
home.
Yeah.
shitty, dude.
And,
That's so shitty.
and I was still putting the same amount of time into my drawings, which
Right,
always
right.
made me stay up late.
Yes.
So, I am hopelessly addicted to caffeine. At like actually,
Dude, I remember the
not as
aminos.
not as like I currently actively I try and don't always succeed just not to have a shitload of caffeine after midnight.
Yeah.
That's my current rule.
You don't do that, or you do that?
I still do
Yeah,
that
you
all
still
the
do it
time.
all the time.
Yeah, sometimes but
I'm
like
gonna literally leave here and get a Red Bull.
Shame on you.
I'm terrible. at
yeah,
that.
this has a ton of caffeine in it right
Have
now.
a
Yeah, the
bottle
aminos
of
in there?
Adderall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
hell yeah.
what this is.
Yeah,
So, but
It's prescription.
yeah,
it's not. Get it on Amazon.
yeah, right.
But like, either way, when I tattoo, every once in a while, it's just like I'll be pulling a line or
Yeah.
like shading something in. Like it's like here's this one petal, and like
That's insane, man.
And,
That's
like-
crazy, dude.
and. When I was in Bradenton, they had a private room,
Yeah.
like in that little back area.
The back area.
And what I was just like, cool, it's time just to take a break.
Yeah.
And what I would do is this is how and where I got really good at daytime naps.
Oh, dude.
So
On command.
this is real shit. So like they had this little private room. I just like closed their little curtain in the back. It's kind of by all of our supplies. They had a regular tattoo massage table in there, and I would lay on it, set a timer for 15 minutes, and I would be asleep, dead asleep for 14 and a half of those minutes.
When I was doing my apprenticeship, I was working 4:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and then 3 to 10 at the tattoo shop.
Dude,
oh my God.
And on my hour break, I would slam a turkey sandwich. I ate a turkey sandwich every day for 2 years when I was year when I was apprenticing, but 2 years while I was working in the office. And I'd slam a turkey sandwich, drink some water, eat some chips, and have 30 minutes left. I'd lay down and go to sleep every single day because that was the only way I could survive.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't nap between getting out of work and going to the shop. And then I only had 6 hours from the second I got out of work till the second I had to be back at work again. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But I would tactically sleep. Just like 10-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute naps.
Yep.
And they're awesome, dude. Yeah, hit that.
Yeah. But
Hit
like
that.
that's just
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep tattooing probably like reasonably like probably 50 or 60 times.
That's
That's
crazy.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's going on my list. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I need a
List of things that you should try.
like fall asleep while I'm tattooing. Like I feel like I could do a handful.
you
I
ever-
could do a dozen of things.
Nick,
like
have you
in
ever
a-
fallen out of your chair before? While you're
Yeah,
tattooing?
yeah, I have. Yeah, for sure.
I fell
Yeah.
down. I biffed it.
I was
one
just
time.
like coming to like I'm letting the stencil dry, and I just like I'm fucking hip hopping and bebopping into my station. I just grab my stool and like, shoop.
Dude,
it's not there.
the day
Dude,
I
the
got
rollerblade wheels on the mats is not
Dude,
always a great idea.
unbelievable. I'm like tattooing. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I'm just rolling around. I'm rolling away naturally, dude. Like the rollerblades were the worst fucking thing ever,
man.
dude.
Yeah, dude. The first time I did
Just,
it,
and you can't help it
No,
either. You're
yeah,
like
you're
just
just
like too far going. Like,
I'm in it. I'm like, yeah,
oh, man.
yeah.
I remember
that,
the first time that happened to me. I had stood up. I had stood up to like tattoo, and I was like standing up, and I was working on the top of someone's shoulder, and I just went to sit down, and I sat down on like the corner. I sat down on the corner of it, and it just fucking went out, and I got machine in hand on, and I fucking fell backwards, fucking bounced my head off my fucking toolbox, dude, and I just laid there. My machine's just running. I'm just laying
Don't
there.
worry about me.
I'm just like, dude, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go have 2 cigarettes outside right now. I don't want to see you for a while.
Please forget the last 3 minutes of your life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, please forget that you ever saw me do that.
This is where we're gonna drop our ad.
Yeah, and then on the 2-hour mark, we have another advertisement.
By Amino Energy
Check
on
Amino Energy.
Amazon.
Yes.
Please.
No, actually, in all seriousness, though, we are at the 2-hour mark, and if you're still here, I'm fucking impressed. You deserve a medal. If you can, and if you want to support the podcast, I know I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. There is an app called Anchor FM that you can download.
Yes.
Anchor.fm. You can download that, check out our podcast on there, and on that app, you can become an active listener of the podcast. There you can choose to donate us either $1, $5, or $10 a month. If you want to do that, that will help us offset the cost of paying Skylar. What did we agree to pay you?
$10 million for
Okay.
a 2-year contract.
Yes. So we need to pay him back the $10 million that we promised him for the podcast. So if 5 million of you could give us money,
He
that'd
drives
be
a
awesome.
fucking Hummer.
Yeah.
So
he pulled
you
up
know what
here
I mean?
in a fucking Hummer. So we're gonna need some money. No, but in all seriousness, you can do the active listener on Anchor FM. If you would like to also do the storefront here that is linked in the bio of our Instagram, you can just click that there. There's also a link in the description of whatever application you're listening to us on. Has a link that will bring you to our storefront here. Please check that out. We will have clothing from Skyler, Nicholas,
will.
and myself on there. We also just have regular run-of-the-mill Tough Luck stuff on there. So if you want to support the podcast, I don't really expect you to wear one of our shirts, but if you like it, go ahead and buy it. Also, if you have any other comments, concerns, questions on the podcast, or tattooers that you want to see on the podcast, please DM us so we can reach out to them.
If you want to be on,
Yeah.
we'd be happy to weed through. And
Yes.
you got any questions as a tattooer, as a new and up and coming tattooer,
Yes.
or anything like that, I'd be happy to shoot your dreams down.
Don't hit that too hard.
Because it
Might kill
sucks.
you.
and you do not want to do this for a living, believe me when I tell you. I know it seems real luxurious from this standpoint, but
I think Nick is crazy. I think if you want a tattoo,
I'm definitely crazy for sure.
But
one thing that I do want to talk about, if we're skipping out of
we're done with the ad.
Oh, we're done with the ad now?
Yeah,
we talked about it last time we were here, and I wanted to revisit it. Like your question about like your work-life balance.
Oh, dude. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we should have touched on this.
So we're not
I
done
think
yet.
this is such an important thing. I would like to talk to you about.
Dude, take the fucking reins, man.
One of the over the course of my career, I thought like one of the things that I've learned that has been so imperative, like that I hear a bunch of newer tattooers talking about at some of the seminars and things that I've gone to, is like, how do you balance having a life, a family, and then going into tattooing? For me personally, the best advice that I have is that no tattoo is more important than your family, and you have to be willing to just wholeheartedly abandon tattooing to make sure to take care of your family, your wife, your spouse, your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, there has to be a point where you give up tattooing to maintain that stuff, because it, like, I've ruined a few relationships dedicating myself to tattooing so hard and completely ignoring the people around me. And my wife's an actual ER nurse.
Yeah.
So like, So like every once in a while when she comes home, like it's like my wife has told me that it's like if I call her, like her phone is set to not make noise at all under any circumstances. Right. But if I call her twice, it will make noise on her phone. And my wife like said in an actual emergency. No, in an actual emergency, in an emergency room, she will walk away from the thing because I am more important.
Yeah, right.
Because like she married me. I am more important than a stranger that walked into a tattoo shop. And don't treat the people that you love worse than.
I think I had the first time in my relationship where it was an issue, and it was from the podcast, actually, oddly enough. It was because I made an empty promise to my significant other that I would be home for dinner. Yeah. And I was here with Chaz, which you understand how Chaz is. Mm-hmm. Our episode was 3 hours long.
Yeah. Like, also like hanging out with Chaz is like he's a roller coaster. He's fun.
It was so many things. I mean, I hadn't seen Chaz in a couple months. Nick hasn't seen Chaz in like 10 years. So it was nice for us all to hang out and stuff, you know, a couple of years. Yeah. But I had made an empty promise and I couldn't keep that promise. And I noticed that I haven't done that in a very long time, especially with Emily now. Yeah. And I know that when I first started tattooing, I alienated myself from any kind of relationship, friendships, girlfriends, anything. I had none of that when I first started tattooing because my main focus was tattooing. And I know that if you're looking to start tattooing, know that there are going to be times where you're going to have to choose tattooing over yourself. That's okay. Sometimes that's fine, especially when you're in an apprenticeship. That's important because I do think you need to dedicate yourself 100% to tattooing. But when you're in it and you're finally done and you're actually making tattoos for a living, it is quite okay to step away from the shop, to go have dinner with your wife. Go established. Hang out with your friends. Go and do the things you need to do because sometimes it just doesn't pay off.
Yeah. I was actually in a tattoo appointment. I was doing I'm still working on it. It's a big cover up on this dude's back piece, and I'm doing this like samurai sitting on top of this weird plate mandala snake. It's hard to explain. And
as most of your tattoos are.
Yeah, it's tough. So
you Bob Ross me.
But I'm doing this like ornate style pattern work on like this big back piece, ton of cover up anyway. But I couldn't remember if I told my wife that I was going to be home at a specific time, and I was running late. And so I called her. She didn't answer. She works in the ER. It's fine. Yeah. So I went back to my client. It's like, I personally don't think it's wise for me to finish this part. Is it a pain in the neck for me to come back and try and line up stencils, do all that extra work? Is it annoying? Yes. Is my wife more important than having this person come back and go through and do that process again? Yes, she's always more important than that. And this was a very mild, absolutely nothing happened. I didn't need to leave early that day, but it was just enough where I knew that that valuing my relationships with my wife, with my friends, with like myself, it was important for me to leave at a certain time, and I had to stick to it. If I'm gonna maintain my life, period, I had to step away from tattooing at some point, and for new tattooers or anybody out there, like veterans too, like be willing to abandon tattooing for the people you care about.
And also, I really respect the way that we communicate. Emily was there for one of our phone conversations, and I had you on speakerphone, and I'm like, "Hey, man, are you busy?" And your first immediate response was yes. And I said, "Okay, call me later.
Yeah,
call me when you can."
And
then what happened was you called me back. And you were like, "Hey, man, are you busy?" And I said, "Yes, I'm making dinner." And you said, "Okay, call me when you're ready."
Later,
have fun with Emily. Don't talk to me. Why are you still on the phone? Click.
Yeah, why are you still on the phone?
It's not pressing. I'm not on fire. I'm not being robbed.
Exactly.
You know,
even if I was like,
well,
ask Emily if it's okay to call 911.
Can you pull $100,000 out of the bank?
How much money do you have liquid right now? After this check clears,
well,
Tough Luck,
it's interesting though, because I definitely have a very very different approach, which I agree with everything that you just said, and everything was stamped into my mind and from the day my apprenticeship started.
Well, yeah, and you fall into that, and you stay in it. Yeah, and that's a good thing.
I was also tarnished by a shitty relationship. So I started my apprenticeship when my mentor is like, "Who the fuck is that? Is that your girlfriend?" He's like, "Get rid of her. Mm-hmm. If you want to learn how to tattoo, get rid of her."
That was honestly good advice.
It was the best advice.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
At the time. Given in the time of my life. And
I mean, depending on how committed you were in that relationship, there's variables there.
I mean,
and then the first rule was no old ladies at the shop. Come by, say hello, whatever. I was young. I was like, just freshly like 21, 22 or something, maybe. And so I was young, and it was like, "Get that bitch out of here." And she would just like show up, like, "Oh, hey, just saying what you're doing," like, fucking, you know what I mean? That type of shit. And I had to leave. Like, long story short, she was like,
at that
fucking,
point in your career, you had to kick her out.
I had to.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily in my heart agree with my mentor's beliefs or reasoning behind it. However, now
you understand
your value system is different.
Yes.
If your wife came in here now and
I
either
should-
one of us told you
like,
to kick her
you
out,
shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah, I hope you would physically
don't fuck me up tonight, motherfucker. You know what I mean? But that being said, I love my kids and I love my wife. And coming from that, I left my apprenticeship and I was still with that same chick. And I was at another shop, and she would just pop up in the shop. It was like, and I'm tattooing. I got some chick's fucking ass in my face for fucking 4 hours, and she's like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on here?" And it was a shit. It was a shit show. It was. Like I said, I was 21.
Well,
22.
some of those things happen. I mean, that's just an insecurity
Naturally.
on somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we talked about that in our episode where we were like, it takes a special kind of person to be in a relationship with a tattoo artist.
It definitely does.
If we have that kind of mentality where tattooing is more important.
But you have to reassure your significant other that that's not what is happening. I know what's easily accessible in your mind. You can let your mind go on, but like that's not what we're doing. I'm here making money, and I love my wife, and I love money, and you know, but you just have to be mentally strong. And you know, that being said, though, you know, I mean, I tattoo tons of females, and I'd be lying to you if I said that it didn't affect like my normal daily life, my love life with my wife. Like,
really,
I see 100%. I'd be lying to you if I said that. I mean, I have all these. Yeah, it affects it entirely. I love my wife naturally. You know what I mean?
Me personally, I've never actually looked at a female client that way. Personally, I've never been like, I've always been very saying. Like, business is business, and That's it. Like, I'm here to tattoo
That's
you.
exactly
I'm here
what
to be
I'm-
yeah, and that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Right,
And,
yeah.
And I've always like
I just disregard it.
yes.
Like,
yeah, because
I'm just
there's-
working.
That's not what you're trying to do.
So my wife is like, and I just it's
See, I think
just
the thing that gets with
I
me
disregard it.
Yeah.
and she reaps the aftermath.
Well, I mean, your wife
You know
also
what I
works
mean?
really hard though too. I had a
Yeah,
moment.
she
I had a
does.
moment the other day where I was thinking about. I
Yeah.
came home and like Emily works full time. She's a full independent woman. She does her own thing. She has her
Sure.
own life. She does her own stuff, and she has her life. I have mine, and
Which is
you know,
incredible,
And we live
dude. That's
we live
awesome.
amongst each other in those spaces. You know
But
what I
you
mean?
can also share those things.
Yeah, yeah, we share those things too.
She's invited to everything.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And vice versa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I always do that. And I do that for her. But I came home the other night and I was, I had worked my ass off. I think I left the shop with like $1,200 in my pocket in a day, which is unheard of. Like that's a lot of money. And
Nice.
even sometimes I have to think to myself like, holy shit,
Yeah.
awesome, I made it. That's
This
a
is,
great
This
day.
is people's 3
Like,
weeks paycheck.
yes.
You know
and,
what I mean?
And I
Yeah.
came home and my fiance, soon to be wife, did all the laundry, and I was like, as she's working, like she's working a full-time job at home,
Yeah.
and she did all of the laundry, and I was just like, damn, how many times has this happened and I didn't notice it? Or how many times have I
Sure,
came
yeah,
home and
yeah.
she cleaned shit and I didn't say anything because she's at home all day.
She gets disregarded and
Exactly.
just like you just become
And I try-
accustomed
I've-
you know?
Yeah, I've really tried in the last, at least, I mean, I think our relationship is very strong because we spent COVID together and we were stuck in a bedroom together.
That
and
will-
we did really,
dude,
really well in that
yes.
space. So I know that we have a strong relationship. I just find myself sometimes like hoping that I'm not not seeing her for that because I'm so fixated on tattooing, and that's when I try to go home. I leave this podcast here. I leave my tattoo stuff. I don't draw
hard.
at home anymore. I stopped drawing at home completely. I draw here and here only. I come here early in the morning, like how Nick does. Come here an hour
do.
early,
Yeah,
draw
I
my
do.
appointment, get to work. You know
My
what I
life
mean?
doesn't accommodate for
Yeah.
that, so I have to
Yeah.
draw at home. And for me, I personally, I talk to my wife about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these are the things that I need. I was working on the van the last couple of days, and we went down to Englewood where her parents live and where we actually go work on it. And I have homework that I still need to finish for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I told her, like, when we're hanging out watching movies and stuff with her family, and I'm like, this is a thing that I have to do. Are you guys all right if I multitask? Like, I need to do this.
I'm listening.
And
yeah.
but like,
You know
well,
what I
no, I literally sat on the couch right next to all of them and was just drawing my tattoos.
That's my favorite time to draw.
But like everybody, we're watching BattleBots.
Oh, I fucking love BattleBots,
That's
dude.
fucking rad.
It's so. I was gonna wear my BattleBots T-shirt,
Oh,
but, but like it's like, but I don't.
But you brought your BattleBox lunchbox. I wish you actually. had one.
No, I haven't. What I have a different lunchbox. But anyway,
Ninja Turtles is also
but I was drawing a tattoo, like,
Yeah.
but I try to find a way where I just communicated
Yeah.
what I needed, and then my partner was very supportive of that, and she
Yeah.
always is. But like, it comes with telling her what I needed, and I expect the same from her, and she does. She delivers every time. It's like, like today's
awesome.
with you and Emily, and your story. It's like if Emily was like, I don't care what's going on, I need you to be home at 7:00.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a conversation between you two. And for your relationship,
man.
like, if you've got a standard that you guys are okay, where you guys are sustainable, that's just to communicate. Like, figure out what figure out what you
She
need,
told
what
me
your
to
partner
be home
needs.
at 7:00. I'm gonna be home at 6:30.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's just what
Well,
it is.
like
you
the
know
other
what I
day,
mean?
I mean, we booth rent here, so like Nick even said when I first started, like if you want to fuck off in the middle of the
Like,
day,
yo,
fuck
do
off.
whatever the
paid
fuck
your
you
booth
want,
rent.
dude.
Like,
Yeah.
go ahead. And
I don't care if you work
Emily
one
got
day
done-
a week.
Yeah,
Like,
Emily
you
got
know
home,
what I mean?
got done
Like,
with work early, and she's like, "Hey,
you know?
can you come home so we can go grocery shopping?" And I was like,
Fuck yeah.
absolutely. I was like,
Right out.
I was like, funny story. I just got done tattooing, and I don't have any more
It
clients.
just sucks though,
And-
like being newish and,
Yeah.
and like walk-ins call
Yep.
all the time,
and I miss
So-
out on money.
And so that's
but
like the
sometimes-
balance.
Sometimes I would rather trade the $150 that I would make in
And
walk-ins
hang out with
to
my
go
fucking
hang out with
wife.
Emily.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like, is that
dude.
kind of shitty for business sometimes? Absolutely.
Sometimes, sure,
But
whatever.
you train
but-
your clients when to come in.
Yes.
You know
Like,
how many,
and
the population of Sarasota is?
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Yeah. We'll be just fine.
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's
and
the
your
point,
clients
though.
don't just come from
And-
Sarasota.
No. We
Well,
have clients from all
no,
over the place.
no, absolutely not. And you know, that being said, though, that's so cool, though. your wife as well, you know, have a career or a job and stuff like that is incredible. And I'm not saying that my wife doesn't. She raises two fucking Mowglis.
Yeah,
she raises two fucking Mongoloids. They're crazier than I am.
She probably works harder than you do.
100%. Without doubt. I'm not here to say that even a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you know, it's a bit of a balance. You know what I mean? And that's just being comfortable and happy with your significant other, and being on the same communication. Just communicate. Like there's nothing wrong with like speaking. Just speak your mind. Like just work that shit out. And it's a hard road to get to. Once you're there, it's smooth sailing.
Well,
you know, I mean, you guys are both there.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I wouldn't say
Smooth
that it's
sailing.
easy. It's not smooth sailing.
Well,
My life's
yeah,
still,
it's
not
good
like,
days and bad
It's
days.
constant updating.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I think, but
Just
also you
keep
could
a motherfucker in the
Yeah,
loop,
and-
just give a motherfucker a heads up. Don't say shit that you don't mean.
Of
you
course.
know, you know, right?
That's one thing you're really bad at.
I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, you know.
I'm really bad at that.
Was just making a joke.
No, I really do. I do that a lot. Actually, I say things I don't mean all the time.
Communication is
And I
difficult,
also
though.
am so bad at agreeing to do things that I don't really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm so bad. Like even with tattoos, I'm like, yeah,
Dude.
for sure, I'll do your fine line peonies. And
Like,
then and then
they
I'm-
show up
but
like,
then-
I didn't say
but then
that.
I'm doing it, or like those kids today. Like I did those
Right.
2 tattoos, and I'm like, yeah, man, like $300 is cool. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What were
did
you
I just-
thinking,
Why
dude?
did I just do that? Like, but again, it
Yeah.
comes down to just like
It's like $47 an hour.
I don't know what I was thinking there, but
Whatever.
I shot myself in the foot
Dude,
today.
they've been coming back.
Yeah.
Regardless.
So they're good
whatever.
clients. But anyway,
That was a gift. That was like a Friday the 13th.
I try to
gift.
communicate with my clients the same way that I communicate with Emily. I try to be very upfront and honest and like, hey, this is something that I'm not comfortable to do. Now, I'm trying my best to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. If you like the stuff that's on my Instagram, then we can do a tattoo for you.
Check my
If you
shit out.
don't, if you don't like what I'm
I
offering,
use loose 11s.
I can't do it. Like, or I can do it, but I just don't want to. I'm not physically there. I'm not.
Yeah. If you're not pumped
Like
to do
learning to say no, I think is so valuable. Like it's like with the cats that I work with now, like Adam is just incredible at it. Like he is so good, and
he seems like the sweetest dude.
he
Like,
is too.
He
but, like,
doesn't want to. He's like
he
would just
does.
like,
He does want to.
oh, I want to. Like, yeah, I want to do that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, he's just like one of the sweetest dudes I've ever fucking met. Like,
I
naturally.
agree.
You
The
know?
client that I was talking about, where I quit early to go home and see my wife,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
just like because I thought like being home on time was important that day. It's like we're
Yeah.
not gonna take. Adam sent that client to me, like because the guy asked for something super high level and that needed a very specific thing. I was artist number 4 that said okay to doing that cover up.
Really?
He went to 4 other artists, and some of them even drew up ideas of how to cover it up, and they're all like, I don't really think I can cover this up. It's a tattoo from Chopper, actually.
I love Chopper,
Dude,
man. He's one of my
Chopper's
good
like,
friends,
I mean,
man.
it's a.
I love Chopper to death.
I'm not sorry that I'm covering it up because of the client and like and not even
Sure,
necessarily.
whatever.
It wasn't even his experience with Chopper, but his tattoo's so fucking good. It was kind of a tragedy to have to cover it up, but it was
Whatever.
really,
It is what it is.
really fucking
Sure.
hard.
Yeah, those kind of things happen.
But
That is a
but
really
either way,
difficult
like
cover-up.
but he went
Chopper.
and Chopper's tattoo was a cover up.
Oh, it was
so it's a
already.
cover-up of
So
a cover-up.
now you're doing a
So
third
the
gen.
dude had Old
Yeah,
English on his ribs. He cut, and then Chopper covered up with his just righteous Neptune and like big like coin clouds. It's just black and dope. But he wanted me to cover it up, and he went to 4 artists to say. But anyway, Adam handed him to me because he knew that Adam knew that he wasn't really going to be great at that particular thing, and also it wasn't a part of his career that he really wanted to.
Well, sure.
I'm not. I don't really
Sign
want to
up
be the
for
cover up
cover
guy,
Chopper shit.
dude. Like, let me tell you,
I don't want to cover Chopper
is
shit now.
not the hardest tattoo I've ever covered up, but it is a runner up.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
tattoo is so solid. And he is.
Yeah.
Oh man. I would like to like confess my deep appreciation for Chopper and how good of a tattooer he is.
Yeah.
Like
Man,
that was
Chopper
like
knows
this is
it,
a really tough
yeah.
tattoo to cover up.
He's such a
either way-
sweet dude, man.
but
He don't hold no
Adam's
grudges.
super good at saying no and rifling
awesome.
people
Good
to
for
just to
him,
make
though.
sure that whoever is talking to him about a tattoo gets sent to the right person. He's
That's
so
awesome.
generous there. And I try and do the same thing. When somebody comes in and they're like, man, I actually had a woman come in a couple of maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and when she's like, I really want like a really strong like feminine tattoo, like one that really like that demonstrates like has like a feeling of feminine energy. And I'm 6'5" and a bald dude. Like it's like I don't know if you know this about me. Like I'm fine with feminine energy,
Yeah.
but I don't know that I'm the one to embody that for you.
Yes.
Right.
She didn't get tattooed by me, but also
Sure.
if she did ask to get tattooed by me, showed me some reference, I would point her in the right direction. Like I would tell her
That's
where
the
to go.
idea
Because
of
like
the
it's
community.
like, do you want the thing that I do?
Do you
'Cause
want
it-
Panthers puke and water on your neck?
Space Panther, bro.
Because like I feel like when most people talk about their tattoos, like your tattoos, like I want a dagger, I want a rose, I want like
Yeah.
a panther,
I want a scorpion.
yeah, like the cover up, the exact cover up that I'm doing.
Dick-headed
scorpion.
It's like this samurai, this 3-eyed samurai holding a mushroom, like sitting on a snake in the ocean, like and the snake is made out of like plates that have individual mandalas on them.
But it needs to be a sunset as well.
Yes.
And it's his whole back.
I think
like-
it's funny when people give me more than 2 things. I'm like, pump the brakes. You get 2 things,
Oh,
and then yours
your
are like
cluster, my head's getting
No,
cloudy.
I try and cut my list off at 5 things.
5 things.
5 things, because like when people give me a cover up, they're like, man, I like or like. Like I love trying to mix and match that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like I have.
Well, you're up for the challenge. That's the thing I really
so much
respect
fun.
about you, because
It's
you're
so
like,
much fun.
this is a monumental thing, and I am going to rake my brain until I figure it out, and then I'm going to apply the fuck out of the tattoo
It's important.
and make it fucking work. And it's so rad.
I love going on that journey with my clients. It's so much fun. Like, what kind of feeling do you want to express? Like, I want it to be aggressive. I want it to be feminine. I want it to be happy. Or like, it's like, actually one of my favorite stories for tattooing, like it's like creating a piece of art. The guy Jeremy, one of my friends, he came in and wanted just a walk-in actually, and he wanted like a full sleeve from me as like a dragon and a Hanya, which is like what my current
Perfect.
my
Yeah,
sleeve
your
that I
sleeve.
have
Yeah.
is of. I think that stuff's so cool. But he said he wanted his tattoo to represent overcoming obstacles, because he used to this particular client, he I don't remember what he was, either one of the guys that like would go like fix like not radio antennas, but like the wind turbines.
Yes.
And he was doing that somewhere up north where they had ice, and like he was climbing up there, and a 400-pound block of ice fell 200 feet and hit him.
Fuck.
And just pasted him across this the ladder that he was going to get up there, like broke his femur in 8 places, like head trauma. He was in a coma for 6 months. They told him he'd probably never walk or talk again.
Holy shit.
And he came in and walked into the shop and told me what he wanted to get tattooed, and that like he wanted a tattoo to represent overcoming obstacles. And I was like, okay, I'm in it. Like it's like
Yeah.
and I told him he needed Benkei, the great warrior monk.
Yes.
And I told him that you have to do the standing death.
Yes.
That you have to. And like I gave him the story, gave him enough weapons to be dangerous. He researched it for himself, and he's like, yes, this is the thing that I need.
That's so cool.
So what we ended up doing was like a modified version of Benkei, where he, instead of standing, he's like flying and doing something.
Yes, I remember that sleeve. That's a
Yep.
great one.
But that guy, that story is for that. Like I love the obstacle of taking whatever people give you and finding a way to make it cool and tell their story and be on board with them and convey emotion. Like I love it. That's, to me, that is so fascinating. It's what brings me in closer to these people, my clients. Like I want to know what you want to feel. Like, do you want a feminine one? Do you want an aggressive one? Like, because even if I did Benkei, then I could do it traditionally. I could do it neo-trad. I could do it in flowers, like whatever.
Yeah.
But depending on the style of person that you're tattooing, it is up to you to figure out how to make it fit that person.
Another
and I
thing
really like that.
I
journey.
really respect about you is that you're so well-rounded in your knowledge of what you tattoo as well. Like, you were one of the first people that were pushing me to like, oh, you can draw a Hanya mask, but do you know what it means?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why it is this way? Do you know all of the demigods and all of this stuff? And that's actually what kind of started this like snowball of me like just researching, because I don't want to be a dumb tattooer. I'm already dumb in the real world. Like, I don't want to be a dumb tattooer. You know, I would like to
Bobby
understand.
Brains. You're one of the smartest dudes I know. Honestly.
No, you're crazy, dude.
Naturally.
But
You're downplaying that, Robbie.
thank you.
Now is when you.
appreciate that.
Now is where you
I
accept
will,
a compliment
I will
from Nick
accept
too.
it. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you.
you
but,
are. You naturally.
but I really respect the way that you understand not only the content in which you're tattooing, but you understand the intention of why you were tattooing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you see that in the way that you draw. You see that in the way that you even communicate. I was a client at one point of yours. I was a coworker, but I was also a client. And the way that you communicated to me how you were doing my sleeve, I had never had a sleeve like that before, where it's all one big fucking piece and you put the whole thing on. The whole.
That's
upper part
not what
on.
we did.
But no, you did the bottom half, and this whole thing was one big stencil on the top half.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, that was something that I was doing tats this fucking big then, so I didn't understand any of that shit. You know what I mean?
Not. Why would you?
But it was really cool to like have
Why
you
would
kind
you
of
then?
walk me. Yeah.
Right.
How do you know how to lay on a sleeve until you've done it?
Yeah.
You were year one, two,
I think I was
maybe
year two.
three.
I think
If
I was
we're
year
getting
two.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Google
know.
Photos
Well,
shows
yeah,
me
right.
like it's like remember this,
Yeah.
and it's like barely.
Fuck. Yeah, hardly, bro. Hardly.
like
But I just want to tell you guys that my iPad is at 10%, and if this thing dies, we lose all of it.
Okay.
So everyone, if you're still here at 2 hours and 30 minutes on the dot right now, I'm super impressed. I love you. This is the Tough Luck Tattoo Podcast. This is episode 7, the longest.
Walters.
Yeah, Steve Walters. Shout out.
Zen Astray.
Yes,
Yep.
we have
Zen Astray on
Skyler.
Instagram.
Thank you so fucking much.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us, dude. I really appreciate
I'm
you.
so impressed that you even came back.
Yes.
would never have come back.
Yes, episode
I
7,
wouldn't
Nah, man, fuck
part
those
2.
guys, man.
I wouldn't have missed it.
Yes,
Thank you guys
and,
for inviting me
Seriously,
again.
man. That
Yeah.
means the world.
And if everyone could, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, please rate us 5 stars. If you are listening on Anchor, please check out that active listeners where you can donate us $1, $5, or $10 a month.
Buy some merch.
Or buy some merch from our store Frontier. That is the 3rd plug in this podcast. We need to stop doing that so
No,
often.
it's not.
Fuck it,
But
man.
I love you, dude.
Love you too, guys.
I love you,
Every
Nick.
15
You're the man.
minutes,
next
dude. I
time.
love you
You're
too.
incredible, dude.
Tough Luck Podcast.
Yes, Tough Luck Podcast signing off.